The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021, years after the year zero. We're live at the FanDuel Beach House. Yeah! I have no idea if you can hear me speaking right now. I feel like the microphone is potentially a little bit low. Music will also have to be faded down. That a boy Zito, Foxy also behind the scenes. At Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt also here. Boys, can't thank you enough for traveling down to Tampa. We're going to have a beautiful, beautiful Thursday. A lot to talk about today, actually. Hey, there's a lot of things to talk about. And we got a guy who is an Emmy-nominated host.
Wow.
Yeah?
What?
Peter Schrager.
Yeah.
Good Morning Football host. I believe he's a writer for NFL.com. I think he also works for either Fox or CBS during the season as an insider. The man has 100 jobs, knows everybody. Cannot wait to chat with him about the draft conversation, chatter that's happening currently that we are involved in and don't really know much about because there's been so many narrative changes back and forth. What's the number 3 overall pick going to be? Is it going to be Mac Jones? Will it be Justin Fields? The odds go from one to the other and then back to the other. Now Mac Jones has a photographic memory. He's definitely going at number 3. Now Jacksonville Jaguars are coming out. Trent Baalke has said, we've got some calls on the number 1 overall pick. I think we're good here. Is he potentially saying if you want to come get the number 1 overall pick, even though we've given out the playbook to Trevor Lawrence and we scheduled Trevor Lawrence's surgery and Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence are already friends. We fielded a couple calls, but I think we're going to hold tight.
Stand pat.
Who the fuck is calling him, by the way, after stories of them already giving the playbook to Trevor Lawrence, scheduling his surgery for them, or is that all a lie? Ooh. Do we know anything about anything right now? Old Schrags will hopefully be able to help us out in that regard. Cannot wait to chat with him in about 21 minutes. Also, the boys back in Indianapolis are live and plugged in. Boys, how you doing back there?
We're doing well. We're doing well here, Pat.
Okay, that's great to hear. Sounds like it's going well.
I couldn't tell if my fucking microphone was on or not.
Well, I had the same issue as we started here. I could hear myself echoing off the walls of the house that we're in, but I could not hear myself in these ears I have. Zito had to figure it out. Obviously, we're in a Zito production down here.
Zito!
There's 4,000 wires that shouldn't be working. But second week down here at the FanDuel Beach House. Boys, we almost completely fucked it up. Did you get a chance to follow along with that last night?
What happened, Pat?
Well, see, so a lot of things happened. I had to arrive to the airport early, which is something I've never done.
Yeah, rarely happens.
I have never, ever done. The only reason why you fly potential private aviation is because you could just show up and take off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what it's for, especially if you're a pretty busy person and you live in a city where the airport has 4 or 5 flights, that's it, to anywhere.
Right.
So you kind of have to make do. You have to do what you got to do. So I show up normally, hop on plane, see you later. This time, had a call I had to make that was scheduled near the time that we're potentially, so I'll just do the call from the airport. I'll arrive early. I'll be, ready to go.
Sure.
I arrived early for the plane, not early for the call, though. So when I arrived, I rushed out of truck to get to call. Very important call.
Yeah.
Biggest call I think I've ever been a part of in my entire life. Most successful human I've ever talked to in my entire life.
Probably. Well,
yeah. I don't know. It was a big call. So I rushed to that. In rushing, I forgot a lot of things. I forgot the key to the house down here in Tampa. I forgot the garage door opener for the gate to get into the house in Tampa. They were left in the truck because I was running to the airport. So then I hop on a plane after that call went swimmingly. I think it went pretty well. I'm all pumped up. We get on the plane. No Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi. Start checking things. Oh my God. Forgot key. Okay. Forgot gate code thing. Forgot my suits. Forgot everything in the truck. So what had happened was we got to this house last night. We couldn't get in the gate. Couldn't get in the house. We had to actually scale the fence. We did a full walk of the place. This place is secure.
It is very secure.
It is secure.
Fortress.
There was no doors that we felt we could actually get into via kick or anything because there's just deadlocks on everything, which, by the way, we are very thankful to know now. So we had to wait around till the owner of the house had to drive over here. Numerous keys, didn't know which key was this house key. It was just extra keys, basically. It was a fucking shit show, but guess what? It all worked out. Yeah. It all worked out. The Zito production's still working. We had a power outage in this thing, I guess. We potentially blew some circuits. I mean, boys, things are really looking up for us down here in Tampa. I hope the same for you. Diggs, Gumpy, how's Hammered Down been at 4 o'clock? Are you guys still hitting winners or not?
Is 51 and 28 on the MLB season plus 17 units good? I'll ask you, Pat.
Well, I mean, I do believe that would be considered a money-making operation down there. 51 and 27. Will that continue, or is this just pure blind-ass luck by the COVID Cowboy and the Canadian footy master?
It's going to continue, and it's going to continue tonight. But once again, it's not about me, Pat. It's absolutely not about me. Gumpy's the better. He's got an absolute lock tonight.
Fucking guy.
What's your lock, Gump? We got a lock out of. Now, listen, I think if you two are both on heaters right now, we should be celebrating that. We're in a state right now, actually. Hold on, Gumpy. Hold that thought. This is pretty big news. It was announced this morning. Florida is going to have legalized mobile sports gambling. Yes. It is going to have to be run through, I believe, a tribe. I forget which exact one, but it'll be run through a tribe, the Seminole tribe. Yeah. Okay. It'll be run through that. It'll be like the, here, we have the entire tweets. These are good news. Florida is about to have legalized mobile sports gambling. It is going to look a lot different than anywhere else, I believe. Daniel Wallach, who is a man who gets shit done.
Yeah, mover and shaker.
At Wallach Legal is his Twitter account. Rumored details on the Florida gambling deal. Tribe runs sports betting, okay? So that I think that is why that was in my head. It's a 60-40 rev split between pari-mutuels. There's no way I said that right.
I mean, it sounded right.
Pari-mutuels.
Looks like
Pari-mutuels and tribes on sports betting conducted at pari-mutuels facilities. No prohibition on permit transfers. No idea what that means. That's either, is Nucky Thompson getting involved in this shit? Potentially. Pari-mutuels can keep designated player card games, but can't add games. Florida may be on the verge of comprehensive gambling deal. Go ahead and scroll down. The Seminole tribe would also be allowed to build out additional casinos. It's Hollywood, Florida property on its Hollywood, Florida property. Less than 5 miles from this guy's home. Okay, Daniel, get out there. Daniel. Dan. And can either do it themselves or with partners. Go ahead and go down. Florida sports bettors would be able to wager with the tribe anywhere in the state through Hard Rock Digital. Okay, this is a big one now. The new compact. The new contract, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Dan. The new contract would permit the tribe to negotiate with just one other skin to offer mobile sports betting. This is more restrictive than New York is currently, and that one is currently up in arms on how it's going to be run. Now, we're hearing Ohio is whether it's going to be through the lottery or the gaming commission, which we all probably believe that should be the gaming commission, not the lottery, but what the fuck do any of us know? Nothing, literally, at this point, because we're so early in this game. But all I know is there is only room for one other skin in the whole entire state of Florida, which is growing rapidly, both by citizens, in infrastructure. This state, I think, is blowing up.
Yeah.
I think within the last year, we can all agree with that. That one other skin that FanDuel is probably up for.
Yeah.
There's obviously DraftKings is going to be up for.
Yeah.
Penn's going to be up for it.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of interest. That might be, when it's all said and done, $1 trillion skin.
Yeah. Could
Think
be.
about that.
At least.
So we obviously read this tweet from Wallach. Now, Wallach spelled compact instead of contract. Okay, so we're not 100% sure. We love Wallach. We like his work. We looked up some of his pictures. Look like he is a dialed-in, focused guy.
Straight shooter.
He's going to get the job done or whatever. So we don't know him that well. We're assuming that this is right. I texted the FanDuel folks. I'm like, Got to get your ass to Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Yesterday.
I don't know whose hands need to be. You need to get in. That is going to be very, very competitive. That is going to be something that continues to happen as these more and more states open up because the government gets to control now, okay, who gets to play the games?
Yeah.
So that is why all the lobbying that has to happen, that whenever people from other states say, hey, get FanDuel in our state, what the hell's going on? It's like, hey, listen, I agree. I want to let you know. And I assume FanDuel is like, let's go. Let's get in there. The amount of shit that has to happen with the people that are up there controlling the strings is very expensive.
Yeah.
I assume it's a very long conversations. And right now, whoever is the one deciding what the one other skin's going to be is living a very lavish life.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, their life right now is absolutely beautiful. That lady, that man, whoever's making that decision is getting pampered with gifts right now to make a decision on who that is. That is going to be very expensive. Now, you have to assume that after they franchise one skin to somebody and they make an immense amount of money, that they'll move forward in a couple months, maybe 6 months, and have a change of heart and be like, all right, we'll give enough. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do that again. So you have to assume at some point it'll open up a little bit more, but that's pretty big news down here in Florida. This is a large state. I wonder what's going to happen with Texas now. California, I've heard that's going to be tough too because of potential tribe type situations like what's going on down here in Florida. But hopefully the entire world will kind of start to open up. But FanDuel has to get down here to Florida.
Well, especially when, Congressman Gonzalez came on and he threw out 2 years like it was 2 weeks. It's
what was that all about?
Hey, this is going to take a long time,
the way it works.
unfortunately.
What was that? No, it wasn't about that. Though,
That was
right?
about marijuana.
Marijuana, yeah.
That was about
But they're throwing around these days.
marijuana, smoke. Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Medicinal is legal down here, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Have to be a resident, have to have a card, obviously. We're not residents, don't have a card, so we would never smoke.
Out of luck.
Never.
We'd never smoke dope down here.
No.
Whether it was recreational or medicational.
Yeah, can't do it.
Can't do it because we're not. But we're saying if you are here, you can smoke dope. What's going on, Zito?
They're saying that Compact is actually a deal with a tribe.
Okay.
Shit, so Daniel, so we
He knew.
should have 100%
Yeah.
faith.
Sorry, I was a lawyer.
Sorry about that, Daniel.
Some sort of legalese. This guy is very smart.
Hey, Daniel, sorry about that, dude. Sports stooge, man. And as I was reading it, did not sound good coming out of my mouth, but that's because I've never had the high-end level conversations you've had, Daniel. I apologize for that, pal, the lack of trust or whatever. But back to your point. This state is potentially going to make so much money off of sports gambling.
Yeah.
This tribe that is going to be handling the who passes out, who gets a chance to operate here, is going to make so much money. Sports gambling alongside recreational marijuana is going to be the thing that really just turns this entire country back into like a super booming operation.
a profitable one.
I mean, it's going to the marijuana thing. It's going to happen, right? We all know it's going to happen. When Gonzo said that 2 years thing, it's going to take 2 years, but yeah, it's going to get done or whatever. It's like, that is so long, but in the grand scheme of things, people have been trying to do this for like, 60, 70 years at this point, trying to get marijuana legalized, and it just hasn't happened. So we can wait another 2 years, but God damn it, hurry it up over there. Gumpy, if the people in Florida were able to bet tonight or in the near future, Diggs said you had an absolute lock. What is it? And how are we doing? Are you still betting well? Are you still a hot gambler?
Yeah, always, my friend.
Hey, boy.
I hate to do this to you, Ty, but the Yankees right now are a
they stink.
dumpster fire.
Oh, really?
And
You
they
don't
got
say.
Domingo Hermain on the mound tonight, who's 0-2 with a 9 ERA.
Yikes.
This guy
Cleveland
stinks.
has Savali going. He's 3-0. He's given up 2 earned in his last 12. You give me the Indians, first 5 at -115. I am hammering
Say
it.
that anymore.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I
Can.
What's that?
This isn't a
I mean,
Washington football team operation.
Yeah, you can't, but their logo
Yeah, well,
was disbanded.
tell that to Chief Wahoo.
Well, that stupid city up there hasn't made up their mind yet.
Whoa,
so-
whoa! We don't mind. But isn't the now we were just talking about tribes, and I feel like in our history we should have learned more of this. But this is something I heard pre-Google. The term Indian came about, right, because they thought they actually were in India
Yep.
or whatever, right? And then now that we're way past, like, hey, they were not.
No.
They were not. Native American, right, is the
I believe so.
is the most like, I think like
Preferred nomenclature.
cool. Like it also it's like
Correct.
it's like the cooler like the
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been to a lot of Tribes Casinos. I feel like I've encountered a few in my life here and getting a chance to chit chat. Cool fucking people, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Cool people. And then obviously, as you learn more and more about our history, it's like, oh man, I mean, I was not here. I didn't know anybody that was, but fucked up.
They got a
deal.
deal.
Yeah, it was kind of. So go ahead.
You are 100% correct. Christopher Columbus thought he was showing up in India, and that's why he called them Indians.
That's why I heard that long time ago, and I kind of stopped.
And if we know anything, Columbus is not the guy to be.
Columbus was a stooge.
Yeah, guy was kind of a scumbag.
Yeah, well, he's stooge too. That's why everybody said the world was flat. He's like, nah, I'm fucking going, dude.
I'll show you.
I'm going, bro. I often wonder, like, do you think he was trying to like escape a marriage or something? Like, why was he so dead set on potentially sailing off the edge of the earth?
Maybe he got boozed up one night. He's like, I'm done with this shit.
Why was he?
Let's head east.
Why was he west? I believe, but
Let's head west.
I'm not 100% sure, but I wonder something had to go down. You know what I mean? What made him just be like, no, it's not flat. It's not ending right there. Because wasn't it? I mean, I should have studied more, I guess. And it has been pretty apparent throughout listening or watching to this show that it did not happen or whatever. But didn't everybody think that it was over there?
Oh, yeah.
So
pretty
something
much.
had to get him over the edge to be like, literally, I'll go over the edge. I'll do it.
I'm guessing that what we've been taught is not exactly how it shook out. I'm guessing that he noted scumbag. He probably had like a shitload of gambling debts and had to get the hell out of there. Or they were gonna behead him with the guillotine the next day.
All right, I'll go. Jeez.
Pat, he was a greedy prick. He was going to find that spice money. There's no more than that.
He's going to try to get that spice dude down there. And that's why whenever he landed in America. Well, he came through the islands too first, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
Caribbean?
Dominican down there, yeah.
Allegedly. Now, who
Now
the
that-
fuck knows, dude?
Well,
We just found out.
He just thought he went east first.
Yeah, well, hey, back then they didn't even have an east or west. They had north and south, you know?
Anyways, tonight.
It was the West Indies.
the
West
West
Indies.
Indies.
There we go.
Okay, so he definitely.
And he was going to Indonesia, not India. See?
Oh, well, hey, we're close, though. I feel like we were pretty close.
Yeah,
so.
pretty close.
Right there.
What were, they
80%
doing?
right.
What were they doing? Were they following the stars? Like, how do they even know where the fuck they're going? They just run into stuff?
Nick.
Oh, yeah. Star maps. Cartographers had a couple maps, but it was like, hey, I'm going to try and sail off the edge of the world. I don't believe that there is an edge of the world. I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to find a way west. Did we settle on west?
Yeah, it is
west.
west. Yeah, it is west. Yeah, it is west.
Depending where you're standing.
Now, so this is kind of like a, the settlers and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like whenever they just decided to go left, they had no clue what was over there.
Nope.
None. And back then, I assume there were some hilarious tales of what potentially existed.
Oh, yeah.
The Loch Ness Monster was probably already in something. Sasquatch, I assume, had already began. And these people were like, yeah, it's got to be better than whatever the fuck we're going through right now.
I mean, they were under the impression that every person that was going out there was gonna
Dead.
find a gold mine and just be
Yeah,
rich
but
for
somebody
the rest of their
had to
life.
go once, right, to tell them that it was there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm talking about,
Sakakawea.
What's that?
Sakakawea.
Which is also a pronunciation of Sacagawea.
Yes.
By the way.
I mean, but we have clarified that it is pronounced Chicagoia. Let's just make sure that
Here we
is
go.
known.
So this is allegedly. Zeno just looked up on the LED board behind us. This is allegedly where he went. Christopher Columbus and the boys. I mean, who knows any of this shit?
I thought they were more north.
Do you think they grabbed a? Do you think they grabbed a map and just? I think we.
Oh, we're right here.
Hey, who knows, dude? All right, let's talk about some more sports. So you're talking Cleveland Native Americans first 5 over the New York Yankees. Gumpy is who you're locked into.
You got it, pal. All comes back to sports.
Pat, we got one more that both of us agree on, too, if you don't mind.
Oh, I would love to. Hey, listen, if you guys are handing out free money to those that can gamble, let's hear it, Hammer Down boys.
So the dogs have been barking this season, okay? If you bet $100 blindly on all the dogs, you'd be up $4,700. And we got a dog barking for you today, pal. I woke up today, and I was like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that movie where they were flapping in the outfield.
Oh, Angels.
Angels.
Angels in the outfield.
Yeah, the Angels are a dog today, plus a half on the first 5 line. And I looked into the outfield. Ohtani was flapping his wings. Trout was flapping his wings. Rendon was flapping out there. Plus a half, first 5, Angels versus Stros, who are 1-9 in their last 10, 1-5 at home, first 5. Angels, book him as a pup today.
Okay, you're saying, Diggs, is Ohtani pitching or is he just DHing?
Just DH, and he pitched a couple days ago.
He's been hitting bombs.
So he'll have 2 home runs today.
At least
2 homers there. Okay. We have a call with Schrager in 4 minutes. Zito just gave me hand signals.
Gotta get him out of here.
Oh, is that 4?
That was beautiful, actually. What you did there was a perfect. It was a perfect. Good for you. Okay, and Gumpy, is that the one you agree with as well? Why are the Astros 1-9? Why are they favored by a half a run in the first 5? What's going on over there in baseball?
The kid they have pitching, he's been up and down from the minors, but when he does come up for a start, he's been lights out. So he is a good arm, but Alex Cobb for the Angels is steady Eddie.
Okay, so this is free money. Thanks, Hammer Down.
There we go, baby boys. Eddie Cobb.
All right, we got to get to a break. Then we're going to FaceTime old Schrags, Peter Schrager. Cannot wait to chat with him about whatever the hell he's got going on.
Yes.
He's released a mock draft 2.0.
There it is.
There it is. Hey, good work, Zeke.
How baby Zeke?
I think it was also Jay, too, back in Indy.
Little tag team effort.
Jay had to turn up.
That song is so quiet.
Oh, Jay!
Okay, Jay.
Jay!
It really is, though.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me get involved in
Hey,
the
hang
action.
tight. Hang tight, boys.
I'll turn this thing up over here.
There it is.
Ooh. Is that a little better, Jay?
Yeah, that's good.
Still with it.
Jay, how do we feel about it?
Good right there, I think. A little low.
Jay's told me stop fucking. All right, we got to get to a break. We're back on the other side with Peter Schrager. Be a friend, tell a friend. Also, by the way, remember, Big Trick Energy debuts tonight. Yeah! 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on True TV. It's magic. It's pranks. It's the Chris, Eric, Alex,
Sam,
and Sam show. These guys are good guys.
Great guys.
Came on the show yesterday, blew my mind. Can't wait to watch tonight on True TV, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After Impractical Jokers, Peter Schrager will join us on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
They want to play for the Yankees, the people I'm playing against. They want to play for the fucking Yankees.
Check out, like, in there, we put a little surprise in there for you.
About to get iced, it feels like. I mean, let's start the day, I guess.
What the fuck you getting?
It's great to be a member of the Washington Wild Things baseball team. We're number 1 in the league, right?
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody else. When I take BP, will there be anybody telling me how to fuck the hit? No. Feels like the wind's blowing this way. Might have to attack that fence tonight, huh? Hey, you got it! Does the DJ play heaters like this all night? I started hitting 2 days ago. Oh, you'll be fine. I think I figured it out. You'll probably only face 90 miles an hour. Is that me in the game there? This is a good at bat. This is a good at bat. Oh shit! Oh shit! Give me it!
1-1 pitch.
Let's go!
Line drive right
son of a
at
bitch!
the
That came down a lot faster than I thought, though. Let's be honest.
It's deep, and it is off the wall.
Go,
Field it up.
Excuse me! If you could all get off of my dick, we would be better off. Tell you what, would have been nice to take a nap earlier.
Another throw
Get back!
first.
You have to tell me when that's happening. You're making me look bad. Hey, Steven, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Steven. Hey, nice pitch. 149. Does that feel good, Steven? Oh, wow. Wow.
He tosses up the ball.
Wow. Back to being a player now. Making plays. Touchdown. What inning is it?
Top of the second.
Jesus. But it was finally my time to get in that box.
Number 1, the right fielder, the former punter from West Virginia, a former Indianapolis Colt, and a current Barstool Sports personality, Pat McAfee.
The anticipation is real.
Oh, fuck.
Hit out.
I'm in the hole? Son of a bitch, this is about to happen.
And that will bring up Pat McAfee once again.
first pitch from Reynaldo Lopez, swing and a miss by McAfee.
Hey, what was that? And the catcher goes, I had to give you one.
Looked off speed.
What was that? Then I look at the pitcher, and he's smiling. He's like laughing, like he's toying with me like I'm a child. It all comes down to this. My last at-bat. Hey, I'm gonna get on. You bring me home.
This is your life on the line, fucker.
Let me tell you something. You're going to take an L, okay? You're going to take one. So I think that the close your eyes and swing method is perfect for you. Oh, this is hardball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus. You have no prayer.
Number one, right fielder, McAfee.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this is the thing.
Let's go!
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show here on this beautiful Thursday, April 22nd. We are live in Tampa Bay at the FanDuel Beach House. Yeah! 1 week from today, we will get to witness dreams come true. We'll get a chance to experience, as a football fan universe, teams making moves that they think will affect their organizations for the next decade or so. Players will be invested in. Teams will take risks. Moves will be made. Money will be made. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now to chat about that and everything else going on in the football world. Emmy-nominated host of Good Morning Football, ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schneider. Everyone, Shrades! How are you, pal?
I'm doing awesome, man. Congratulations on all the success. I couldn't have been more happy to see the announcement last week. And knowing that way back when, probably 2017, you stepped on to the Fox NFL Sunday set. It was me, you, Jacob Ullman, Tony Gonzalez. You're like, this is Pat McAfee. I'm like, I know who Pat McAfee is for the brand, dude.
Hey.
And you loved me. We gave a big hug, and now look at you. I'm so happy for you, dude.
Shregs, I do appreciate that because, you know, a couple of the Fox people there, they felt they had no idea who the fuck I was, Shrek. Like, so everybody that was on air, which was very dope, because I was walking around with some executives, I think, of Fox, and I don't know if they were thinking about signing me. They weren't. I mean, now I get to be at Fox, which I'm very pumped about, very thankful for. But at the time, they didn't know who I was. So we go on the set. You were there. Colin was there.
Yep.
There was a bunch of people. Everybody was coming up to me like, you were very nice to me. You made me look so good. You made me look so good. These people had no idea why I existed. And like Colin even came up and Colin was like, hey, listen, man, you should come work with us. It would be very cool if you were here. And I was like, thank you, Colin. And I was walking with people who had no idea who the hell I was. I was like, that is so nice of you. You have no idea. Now I didn't get a job, but now I'm there. I'm very thankful to be a part of the Fox team with you.
No doubt. But like, you know, one thing I'll give you a lot of credit for, we get athletes coming through, current players all the time on all these sets. And it's like, here's this current or former player, and this is what I do. And then they show up with the job, and they put the suit and tie on, and they're talking about the 3-4 scheme and why this fits in a Matt Eberflus defense. Pat, you've always been yourself, and it's worked out. I'm telling you, you are such a unique maverick in this thing, and that you do your thing. And it's like, I'm going to do it my way, and if you're into it, great. But I think the fans have watched, the fans have listened, and I think it's all worked out. just fine for you.
Well, thank you, Shregs. You as well, by the way. And I'm lucky to have a team with me. My boys are absolutely incredible. That Good Morning Football show that you guys have is incredible. I talked to Kyle Brandt about it. We are legit fans at the show. We watch it every single morning. So incredibly happy for you guys, the show, everything. How did you get here, Shregs? Like we try to figure that out a lot, right? Like Kyle Brandt, we know his story. Okay, he was in the real world. Yep. He was in Rome, and he was a soap opera, and he was a Princeton running back, and obviously Burleson and Kay crushes. But Shregs, you've become this insider source, kind of know everything about what's going on in the football world. How did we get here, Shregs? How did you get to this spot, I wonder?
I'll give you the longer-ish version without boring your viewers, but I didn't go to a sports broadcasting school. I wasn't.
Respect.
My dream wasn't to be play-by-play for the New York Yankees. My dream was to follow whatever I could do to get my foot in the door on sports TV. I loved watching SportsCenter as a kid, and I was like, all right, I don't know if I've got the skills to be the anchor. I don't think I could be play-by-play. I'm never going to be the ex-player. So I was like, I'm going to try my hardest to get as many sources around the league. And I was sleeping on couches, like going to Mobile, Alabama, like calling up different coaches, being like, I crashed in your hotel room in 2007 and 2008. I knew McVay when he was 26 and 27, and we would go to the Senior Bowl and be like, let's just drink all day and get to know each other. And who knows what happens 10 years from now? Like just complete hustle and grind. And then by the way that fate works, and thank God it happened, but they put together this show and they're like, we want an insider, but we don't want the shirt and tie insider. We don't want the guy who's always on his phone. We kind of want someone with a personality, and you've been recommended. So the guy's name was Michael Davies, who was the producer of Good Morning Football, and put me at a table with Nate Burleson, who I covered as a player and always loved, Kyle Brandt. I used to go on the Jim Rome show, and Kay Adams, who I hadn't met. And we all kind of get along, and it's a lot like your crew, where there's inside jokes. It's an ongoing dialogue, and if you tune in on a Tuesday, you're going to want to tune in on Wednesday to see how it all worked out from what the conversation was on Tuesday. But yeah, this was not an easy path or a usual path. I was freelance sports writing on my own blog and on other sites for like 10 years before getting actually validated by the sports media gods and being put on TV.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. I did not know that. I'm happy I asked that, because we're trying to figure out whether or not you would feel disrespected by that. And we have a tendency of doing that, but it's just genuine curiosity, because I feel like it's an awesome thing to get to that level, you know? It's a lot of
college,
work.
I didn't have a job and I wanted to do this stuff. So I was freelance writing for ESPN, but at the same time, this is kind of crazy now to talk about this. This is like 2004. I was working at a hospital in New York City as like the PR guy for doctors. And what does that mean? It means like, all right, there's this crazy new drug that comes out from one of the pharma companies. Eli Lilly has a new thing. Like, we need some doctor to comment on what it is. I would hustle and call like the local news stations and be like, you should speak to this cardiologist. He's really good. And he'll be really great. And like, Channel 4 News, 3 seconds. So, look, dude, anyone at home watching and who's a fan of yours, like, there is no straight path. And actually now, the way the world is, like, I would almost encourage you to go try other things before you just do the journalism school and then go straight from one step to the next and do the traditional way.
Plug-and-place model is one that's continuing to change abruptly right in front of people's eyes, and I don't think a lot of people know it, but they'll learn it quickly. I think the Good Morning Football crew and whoever you said Davies is a part of that Embassy Row. I met Davies. Davies, cool guy. He put me on the air for 30 minutes with no sound, but he's a good guy. Very, very nice guy. I actually was very impressed chatting with him. That show is awesome. I'm happy they realized that, by the way. I'm happy that was an actual forethought. That's very good news. Let's talk about next week and something that you guys have been talking about a lot, as we all have, obviously. The draft is coming up. And Tregs, you released your mock draft 2.0 on 420. Shout out to you. We got a little bit stoned and read through it or whatever. Now, whenever you're making these mock drafts, Shregs, is this from like your conversations with people and who you think they're going to take, or is this like you ranking people on how you feel they should go?
No one gives a hell what my rankings are. The truth is, like, that's what makes mine different, and I try to take pride in that. I'm going to brag a little bit here, but annually I'm one of the most accurate, if not the most accurate mock draft. And mine is not because here's what I would do at pick 3. I've never watched a second of tape. I don't do it. I don't grind the tape. I don't scout. I couldn't tell you about hip flexors and movements. I just have a phone with every important contact at most teams, and I just pester and I berate and I try to get as much information as possible. And what you notice is I'll put out a mock draft, and it might be some stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense. And immediately I'll get 20 different texts, calls from GMs around the league being like, ooh, so where'd you hear that from? And I actually see it this way. And wait, you didn't include Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. He should be the second pass rusher. He's not even in your mock draft. Or I'll get a call and say, hey, be careful with Rondale Moore. He's 5'7". Yeah, he's good, but like 5'7", he might not be a first-round pick. So by the time I get to my last mock draft, which is next week, I think there's a lot of credence I take in it. I take a lot of pride in it, Pat. I'm always working on it. And for the most part, I feel like I'm usually pretty much in the vicinity, and I'll have a couple guys in there by the final mock draft that no one else does, and they typically go in the first round.
Okay, Schrags, I appreciate hearing that, by the way, because now, listen, going forward, we always talk, Schrags, about how we don't have the text message to GMs.
Right.
By the way, shout out to you doing Senior Bowl, putting in the work to get to know these people and getting that information. I don't watch all the film either. I have no idea who a lot of these people are. Now, granted, top 10, I know who they are, but a lot of them I don't. So we have to pick and choose who we follow for our particular opinions if we're to give some. It's nice to know that this is one that we can rely on here. Yep. It's nice to know that. Trevor Lawrence going 1, that's locked in, even though Balky said they've had some calls about 1, they think they're okay. 2, Zach Wilson. When did this happen, Shrek? When did Zach Wilson become the overall number 2 instead of Justin Fields? Because it felt like Justin Fields at number 2 was locked in immediately upon the Jets winning that game whenever they no longer had the number 1 pick. It's like, well, now the Jets get Justin Fields. How did that change happen so much? And when did this guy, Mac Jones, skyrocket over that? Is that the potential photographic memory thing that everybody's obsessed with, or the incredible year he had in an NFL-type offense last year? How did those two things happen there?
Quickly, on number 2, I don't put things out there, and I've been having Zach Wilson to the Jets for quite some time, even before Darnold was traded. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Number 3 is the one that I'm getting a lot of heat from, and this one really comes from the San Francisco fan base, where it's like, it just doesn't make sense to us. Mac Jones, you don't trade up 2 first-round picks to get there. I've gotten, not heat, but I've gotten a lot of people saying, like, you shouldn't be putting that out there unless you know that. I don't know that. I could tell you this. I know that San Francisco went to Trey Lance's pro day on Monday and were blown away, and those guys really were impressed. And Trey Lance's parents were on site, and, like, Trey Lance has been really, really incredible in these meetings. I just feel, reading the tea leaves, that as of right now, a week out, I think it's Lance or it's Mac Jones. And I think when it's all said and done, Mac Jones is a sure fit. I don't think Justin Fields, I haven't heard much Justin Fields to the Niners other than the stuff that Vegas is saying and some other blogs and stuff. But around the league, it doesn't come from the Niners. It comes from other GMs and coaches. Their feeling is it's either the sure thing in Mac Jones, and it might not be a sure thing, but at least the guy that's a finished product that we've been watching, or it's the complete unknown and the possibilities of Trey Lance. But Justin Fields right now does not seem like that's what I'm hearing with the 49ers.
Trey Lance, let's go, dude.
Okay.
Hey, bring the mom and dad out to pro day. Come meet Shanahan. Come meet Shanahan. We're going to coach Beck. Kyle Pitts at number 4 at the Atlanta Falcons. This is obviously as long as the Falcons don't trade, right? Or do you think they're pretty locked in on Kyle Pitts, which would be the 3rd top 5 tight end drafted since 1950, I think, or something like that. 1961 was Ditka. 73 was 72 was another tight end. That's on me. And there hasn't been another tight end drafted top 5 since then. Kyle Pitts, everybody said, is a lock to be an all-pro. You see him going to the Falcons? Or do you think Falcons potentially move?
No, look, early on, everything I was hearing was quarterback for the Falcons. And then as of late, I've been hearing Kyle Pitts. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with this FaceTime.
No, you're doing great. You actually look good.
Trying, bro.
And your arm's going to be tired, too. So
early
we appreciate
on, it was
you.
Quarterback. Honestly. And then just recently, I've heard a lot of Kyle Pitts, but I wouldn't be shocked if they go quarterback at number 4, with the feeling being new coach. We don't expect to ever be up here in the top 5 again. We want to be good. We're not expecting to have this opportunity again. There's a guy we like, but Kyle Pitts universally is considered the best non-quarterback in this draft and will likely be the first non-quarterback taken.
Okay, so then we got Sewell, the offensive tackle, to the Bengals. Shout out to them.
I'm wavering. Pat, I'm wavering on this one. I put this out there, and this is the whole
They got to protect Joe Burrow. They have to protect Joe Burrow. They have to do that.
Everything I thought was protect that knee, protect that knee. The information I've gotten since I put this mock draft out last 48 hours is it could very well easily be Jamar Chase. And it's not that Burrow's been banging the table for his college teammate.
All right.
It's just that Jamar Chase is that much of a prospect. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's make sure we keep Joe Burrow afloat, though. Yeah. Maybe for an entire season. Then Jamar Chase, okay, which everybody's talking about. He's going to be insane. He's pumped up about the single-digit numbers, okay? Then Jalen Waddle going to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, that was something that came out that they were looking to move or maybe go get a big-time wide receiver. Now, is that because Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray, Kyman, the boys over there, they see what's going on at the top of each conference? AFC, a lot of weapons. That's how you win. NFC, Tampa Bay, a lot of weapons. That's how you win. Are they just trying to load that thing up because they see the trends everywhere else, or do you think it's just best available player at this point?
No, I've got them trading up, but you know what? If it doesn't work out, I still think they would go offense, even if at 16. You know, a couple names to watch for them. If they can't get all the way up there, they would love to have Waddle and Smith. And I could just say it honestly. They're looking to give Kyler every possibility he can to succeed, and it means surrounding him with weapons.
Aaron Rodgers would love that.
Yeah, he sure would.
Imagine that.
Aaron Rodgers would love that.
I'm sure you've met him. Keim is one of the coolest GMs that you'll meet, and Cliff is as smooth as it comes. And they're pretty straight up in that they want to give Kyler a chance to succeed. I'll give you a name, though, at 16, and I think this might shock a lot of people, but everyone wants to talk about offensive line, and that's a very good possibility if one of those top guys, Slater or Darisaw, slips. But this doesn't come from Arizona directly, but just my feeling. They just want weapons, right? Weapons. I wouldn't be shocked at 16. They're the team that takes a Najee Harris or a Travis Etienne. I just think they're going to give him everything he can have. And can you imagine a backfield with Kyler and Najee Harris, and then you've got DeAndre and Kirk, and you've got AJ Green? Like, I think Cliff and Kyler, they're going to do everything they can on offense to maximize Kyler Murray while he's in A, prime health, and B, on that rookie contract.
Okay, and last one here before we let you go. We can't thank you enough for straining your arm, holding his FaceTime up the entire time. The Carolina Panthers with Justin Fields, even though they just signed Sam Darnold to the 5th-year thing for $15 million guaranteed next year or whatever the hell it is, he said and they said it sounds like that's a relationship they would like to be forever. They thought it was going to be like that with Teddy too. So is this just, them potentially kind of like hedging their bet a little bit on Sam Darnold, do you think? Or do you just think it's why do you think this potentially is the case?
This one made a lot of news because people read this mock draft and they're like, wait, Schrager has Tepper is an aggressive owner, Matt Rule is an aggressive coach, and Fitterer is in his first year as general manager. Here's how I looked at it. They haven't given Sam Darnold an extension. They went aggressively after Matt Stafford, offering the 8th overall pick and a future first-round pick to get him. Did not land him. They wanted to at least engage in conversations over Deshaun Watson before that situation went the way it did. So Darnold they got for a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th. They haven't given him a long-term extension. They're paying next to nothing for him now. My whole thing is if Fields was their number 1 or 2 quarterback going into this thing and he's sitting there at 8, guys, like, I'm a new GM. I got a really aggressive owner who wants to win, and I'm Matt Rule who knows all the college guys. I don't think it's you rip up your draft board because he got Sam Darnold for next to nothing.
Wow. Ty, go ahead.
Shriggs, we just alluded to him. Do you think the Packers are going to potentially get one of these receivers? I mean, a lot of the mock drafts I'm seeing have them taking one, but as we've seen in the past, the Packers do love pissing off the fan base, and it seems like they're not really trying to help out Raj at every turn. Like, what do you see the Packers doing with their pick?
Yeah, it's been since 2002 since they took a wide receiver or running back in the first round. Trivia question.
That is so long ago.
Javon Walker.
Yeah,
Javon Walker.
Yeah, he got it.
Go.
Hey, he's an owner of the team. That guy that just asked you the question. He's been on the Packers ride for a long time at this point. I'm just getting started, by the way, with my blossoming friendship with Aaron here. I'm a big Packers fan. It's frustrating. It is frustrating the way they operate.
Dude.
They're so patient. It's like they're old school and everything like that. The game's changing. The league is changing. Are they going to? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I gave him Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss, and the response I got was from a GM who knows his stuff and is like, hey, you can do all you want. It's like that's not what they do. I'm like, but what's they? I mean, they've been through Ted Thompson. Now it's Goody. Like, maybe you do give Aaron Rodgers a weapon. It's not the craziest thing to try to support this guy. And at 29, it's not like you're taking it 5th overall. I don't know. And then I'm watching Jeopardy last night. It's Anderson Cooper. No offense to Anderson Cooper. Rodgers blows him out of the water.
Yeah.
If I'm the Packers, I'm like, I don't want him to be too into this Jeopardy thing. Let's at least give him a little bit of joy or a carrot here. Let's give him one weapon to have here. I think wide receiver, that is the pick. And between Elijah Moore and Kadarius Toney and Rondale Moore and Terrace Marshall, there is a core of wide receivers that might be sitting there at 29 that make a lot of sense for what they're looking to do.
Rondale Moore, potentially go 29, you think, overall?
I think it's a little early. He's 5'7". He there's a lot going against him, but I mean, he is a weapon, and I think if he doesn't go in the first round, he's certainly an early day 2 pick.
I hope he goes somewhere, that we get a chance to meet him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We had him on the show. It was a 4-minute.
Was he cool?
It was a 4-minute conversation, Shregs. It was the worst conversation I've ever been a part of in my entire life. Yeah,
just nothing. One word.
Yeah, it was pretty much like
Pat,
maybe he
we
was
do this
scared.
thing.
Maybe he was scared,
We have
Shrek.
all
Maybe,
the- we have all the prospects on, right? Like, and then like you get them on TV, and they're a 19-year-old kid who doesn't talk, and you're like, all right, like what do we do?
And by the way, they're also scared to death that anything they say is potentially going to jeopardize a dream that they've been working for so long. It's like that we're getting pitched now a lot of rookies to come on the show.
Tell
and I'm
me,
like,
dude, stay away.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm like. Listen, I don't want you to say anything to fuck up your dream. After you get drafted, let's have this conversation or whatever. It's not on them. Hopefully, we'll have Rondale Moore back. I did not know he was potentially a first rounder though. That is good for Rondale Moore.
Potentially, I mean that's a reach.
Well, you said it, not me, dude.
It was you, Pete.
It was you. Was it? Hey, what do you want?
I don't watch the tape. I don't know.
Hey, me neither. Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, Pete, in that mock draft, you also have Devonta Smith going to New England at 12, which means they're trading up and getting a wide receiver. Is there any worry about his weight at all with teams? And also, do you see the Patriots trading up no matter what?
I did that because I think there's a huge drop-off after the top 4 pass catchers. That's what everyone's board says, and that's Chase and Waddle, Smith, and, of course, Pitts. And if you're the Patriots being uber aggressive and you don't have to give up too much to go up a couple spots to get Nick Saban's favorite wide receiver ever, and you're Bill Belichick, who looks at Saban as a brother, like I thought it made sense. But I literally yesterday picked up the phone because I had heard the 166 a few times this week once the medicals came back, and everyone's like, look, he's been the skinniest wide receiver on every team he's played for. He finds a way to get open. He's the smartest player you'll see, a technician with his feet. I don't think you fear about a guy him being 166 as opposed to 173. You're getting a little bit in the weeds with what he did in the SEC.
Shrek, the technician with his feet is a good term. I'm going to use that Friday Night SmackDown for sure. I'm going to say something. Technician with his arms in the ring. I can't wait for it. Shregs, appreciate your time, man.
You're the best, dude. Guys, I love the show, and I appreciate you having me on.
Where are you at? You stay in New York?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn. Everyone else moved out to the suburbs, and they've got their gated communities. I live in the streets. I'm in Brooklyn, dude.
It's a Stranger. Thanks, man. Hilarious.
Good guy.
Awesome.
By the way, that gated thing, that's a conversation that has happened between him and a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Why are you down there, Shregs? Come on, it's so nice. We got a golf course right in our backyard. Nah, I'll lose touch with the city.
Yeah,
with the streets.
I am Queens Boulevard.
Let's get some phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 if you want to get on the line. There's a lot in there. So I do like the fact that he has to say, this isn't directly from them, but it's from things I've been hearing. So then I have to pick and choose which one he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is directly from the person. So McVay, if anything comes out of L.A. from Shregs, after
knows.
finding out that they were, having a good time when they were both early 20s or whatever, as they're both coming up in the game. Okay, let's assume McVay probably telling Shregs some stuff. So that's what we got to do. We got to start learning, okay, who's locked in, where, because then we're 100% sure. It feels like Schrager potentially. I did not know he was sleeping on guys' couches and
Me
stuff.
neither.
He might be completely plugged in. He said doesn't hang out on his phone. He doesn't tweet as much.
No.
Shregs, I would say I think if he tweeted everything in it, his life changes then probably, and his personality changes. That's probably what he was saying there. But I think that's why Shregs isn't as big in the streets of the insider game.
Him going to the Senior Bowl with McVay and just getting bombed all day just to know each other, that is awesome.
You watch practice. I assume what they do is they watch practice. Everybody has sunglasses on whether the sun's out or not, right? And then they have to go to a meeting maybe. They have to go to a meeting with a potential guy that's playing at the Senior Bowl. Maybe the GM or the scouting department wants them to come in and meet somebody. And then you got, 7 hours after that to do nothing until you fall asleep. And then next morning, same thing. We just got to practice, watch this whole thing, and then we'll go right back out to the bars down there in Mobile.
Yeah.
And then I assume he comes to the Combine as well. Same type of thing happens at the Combine. I mean, the Combine is it's a shit show in Indiana.
Loose lips sink ships.
Cannot lose the Combine in Indiana.
No.
And I think even though it didn't happen and they're kind of doing it now and it's like a different thing, I think a lot of people in the NFL are like, have to maintain being able to do what we do in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
The city just understands what's about to go down. Speaking of Indianapolis, the Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in racing, the largest sporting event every single year. Sometimes there's 300, 400, even 500,000 people flock to the city of Indianapolis to watch a race of men and women strapping themselves to actual rocket ships and flying 500 miles around an oval track in which there is potential death at every turn.
Yep.
There is nail-biting situations that happen. And what I'm getting to mostly here is, although there is potentially 500,000, only 200,000 know that a race is happening.
True.
Yeah.
The other 300,000 people are there for the mega concert festival that's happening inside, the events that are inside, everything that's going on the premise. It is a massive square footage. I mean, it is mileage. It is a huge property. And now it has been announced that Penske, the new owner, he just bought it recently from the... Indiana's going to kill me for this. The family that owned it previously.
There it is.
And they have a very noted name. Oh my God!
Speedways?
No. Speedway is the community. By the way, the town that it's in is actually named Speedway,
right?
Because the Speedway, the Motor Speedway, is there. But it's a family that used to own it. Penske bought it. When he bought it, he also bought controlling rights, I think, for the Indy car series as well. So like the Indy 500 is the Super Bowl, but it also has ownership share in the actual entire series. The amount of money they make off the Indy 500 every year, I think, is just absolutely absurd. The entire race series. I'm not saying they don't have other races, but the Indy 500 is a massive money making for them. I guess they're now going to have the largest sporting event since the COVID shutdown. The Indianapolis 500 is set to be the largest sporting event in the world since the start of the pandemic, with 135,000 spectators permitted to attend the race next month. Now, that is down from what it could be, can be. I'd assume this is a certain percentage that Penske had to talk to the governor and everything to figure out, and there's probably protocols instituted there, but 135,000 people are coming to Indianapolis to watch a race. The city of Indianapolis is ready for it.
Yep.
It's a hospitable place. The hotels are ready for it. The restaurants are ready for it and excited for it, and now we're getting a chance to hopefully showcase once again that we're one of the most hospitable places on earth, just like the ability to host March Madness in a bubble and go off without an entire hitch. Very pumped for the city of Indianapolis and the state of Indiana.
I think, like you said, too, that with how big the IMS is, like they should very easily be able to get all those people in there safely. Like the one time I went, like I got lost in there like 6-7 times. Like it is so
massive.
Big. It is so big, and I think people just assume like you walk in there, it's just the track and like the grandstands. Like the property around it is fucking huge.
And if you don't have a golf cart, you might as well be.
Dead.
You're in for a death sentence. Yeah. You're in for a death. Now, people walk, people hike, but we're no joke to walk around that place. You're probably walking 10 miles.
Yeah.
Like legit to get to play. It is massive. So the 135,000 number is huge. I saw a lot of people talking about, this is unsafe. It's unsafe. It's like, no.
I think they'll be fine.
They'll be able to figure it out actually with how big it is. I'm incredibly pumped for I won't go.
No.
It's very hot. I mean, it is 7,000 degrees.
God.
I've done the Indy 500. I had a car in the Indy 500. I actually sponsored a car that was racing Connor Daly. Shout out in the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. I had a car in the race. He got crashed out, but he had an incredible run there. I've done the infield, which is a blast, which is where the festival is. I've sat up in the grandstands. I've experienced the Indianapolis 500 from the garages. I have a lot of respect for it. But man, whatever it's 7,000 degrees and you're just sitting there getting caked, I just can't do it unless you're blacked out drunk for me.
Yeah, well, and then not to mention the asphalt and everything. I mean, that's just how hot it is from everything coming down. Then you have to add about 100 degrees from the heat.
You're like
of the
an air
concrete,
fryer.
Pretty
You're
much.
in an air fryer. You're getting it from both sides.
You are.
It's coming both this way. But whenever those cars get to running, and then all of a sudden it's all hell breaking loose, flying through the air.
Yeah.
What was that, 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago? Old buddy, his car literally just took off as if it was a man in a squirrel suit jumping off a cliff, flew into the fence. It is insane. The men and women that strap themselves into those cars, I have nothing but the utmost respect for, but 135,000 people is a lot of people. That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, nothing to sneeze at
They're
all.
not doing that at Dega this weekend, I don't think. And there's, that's another great race going on that we got.
What's going on?
Over at NASCAR, the AG300, the Xfinity Series. Come on.
I think Connor potentially has made a friend within NASCAR. He's been trying to shoehorn NASCAR conversation in here. Every day he puts on here.
Oh, yeah.
NASCAR's happening.
Hey, big event at Dega this weekend.
Don't forget.
It's been talking about Joey Logano nonstop for a week and a half.
Bro, it's Talladega, amazing, within my hand. Hurting now, and slowing down, and cars go real fast. Hour one wrapping up. This show stinks. We talked motor cars, though.
Yeah.
That's right.
Racing.
All types.
That's a sports show.
That's right.
We're back in the second hour with AJ Hawk and your phone calls. It's Pat McAfee Show. Oh, we're off. One second.
Trick shot challenge. Balcony. Yep. Trick shot challenge. Half court shot.
No problem. Matt, what, Foxy? These are fun games. These are fun little games. What we want. You did it.
Trick shot. Throw that football. Who?
Easy game. What's next, Foxy?
Got a trick shot for you. Drop kick into the net. Trick shot challenge. Into the bucket.
By the way, I'm standing.
Hold on, let me go over here. That's a good toss.
You gotta watch behind it for all that shit. What's next, brother? Got any more brain busters? I mean, I'm not sure it's better because we're in a building, but I have to keep it below the lights, below our air venter thing that broke and caught on fire yesterday. Can't go outside because it's a torrential downpour, so let's give it a go. In Indianapolis, Indiana. With the shot. Let's go! Terreno!
Trick shot challenge. 4 bags in a row.
That's a corner. It's not a trick shot. What's next? Cakewalk.
I actually would have made more money the day I signed than my whole contract with Indy.
Dude. Why did you decide to turn down a lot of money to come back to Indianapolis for the year?
True story, no bull. I prayed about it. By 3 o'clock, I'm signing somewhere. And then 2:55, I got on the phone with Chris. Like, are we going to get this done? Like, how can we get this done? He came up with a number, and I'm like, all right, it's all right. Well, I guess it's meant for me to go to this next team. As soon as I closed his message, Ursay texted me. I said, there go my sign right there. When he texted me, that's when we got it done. When he texted me, he got it done. Hey, did you see my eyes tweet yesterday?
Yeah, is that when you got the text from Mersey?
No, that was a text that I was almost gone.
Yeah, where are we going to go?
Hey.
Baltimore. You don't have to tell us, obviously, but I do believe Baltimore was in on something. Yeah. And then also the quarterback.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Obviously, we had no idea what was going to happen on Thursday, April 15th, which was supposed to be the day of the announcement, by the way. Basically, everything went incredible. The only thing that did not is we did not know that the WWE was going to be firing people. 5 of the top 6 trends on Twitter were WWE related. It was me. You guys are the best! Bad Bunny, Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, and I think Peyton Royce was also trending, and so WWE was trending. So what we're saying is today was supposed to be a celebration, today was supposed to be a big day. Now it's almost like the entire wrestling community is like up in arms about everything. So we have to make the announcement within the next 30 hours, but I don't think tonight is the right time to do it with the way the world is. Now, will WWE agree to that? We'll find out. Michael Cole's calling me right now.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 here on April 22nd, 2021. Happy Earth Day, by the way. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. AJ Hawk will be joining us here in a few moments to chat about all things happening in the sports world. At Boston Connors down here in the FanDuel Beach House with me, as is Ty Schmidt. The boys are still back in Indianapolis. Cannot wait to hear from them. There has been some things that have happened on the internet, though, as this show has gone on today. Oh, yeah. Obviously, in the first hour, we get a chance to chat alongside Pete Schrager, who gave us his breakdown of his mock draft 2.0 and basically said, my mock draft comes from having conversations with people of power in basically every team.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Whoa. Essentially.
He did say people of importance or people of power at every single team or whatever. So he has to kind of like judge and ride the wave of the intel he's getting from around the league. Now, could it change? Absolutely. But it's nice to know that he is getting his info. He does work on NFL Network. Mm-hmm. He is on Good Morning Football. He told us how he was drinking with Sean McVay whenever they were in their early 20s. Now, not that that's that long ago because Sean McVay is so young, but it feels like he has a lot of good relationships. We should start taking his shit a little bit more serious.
Absolutely.
He's got Mac Jones locked in at 3. Locked in at 3. You can probably get some good money still on a lot of sports books with that. Is that where San Fran's going to go? Do you trade 2 first-rounders for Mac Jones? Potentially, who knows? Joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen, from Ohio, an Ohio State legend, a Green Bay Packer icon, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Yeah, AJ! AJ, did you see us talking to Schrags, dude?
I did, and you know what? It makes sense how he goes about his mock draft, especially hearing you guys just talk about that. Like, wouldn't that, like, I feel like if he's only talking to the people that are making these decisions, yes, you would think he would be very accurate if his sources are legit. So, yeah, we should definitely be following Schrags a lot more.
I agree with the way he was speaking, by the way. Now, that could all be freezing cold takes with what he said, but he had trades in his mock draft.
Yeah.
This is what they're thinking about doing. This is what they're trying to do. Teams are thinking about this. The Carolina Panthers having Justin Fields potentially available for them at 8, and then him breaking down how they're not really that invested in Sam Darnold. I mean, they picked up his 5th-year option or whatever, which is awesome. They only gave up a 2, a 4, and a 3 or something like that when they were trying to give up the 8 and a couple other things for Matthew Stafford. And he's like, this is not a hey, Sam Darnold's definitely going to be the quarterback for the next 5 years, which is smart, by the way, because none of us know what Sam Darnold's going to be out from underneath the Adam Gase effect. But I did not expect to hear that Carolina is still very interested in another quarterback. I thought they had that locked in. That was interesting to hear. Speaking of quarterback, another quarterback that you may have heard of, AJ Hawk, is not happy about a new rule that has been implemented by the NFL. I'm not sure if you have seen this yet or not, but the Instagram story section of Tom Brady's profile has told quite a story for all of us. Tom Brady reacting to the news that single digits will be allowed to be worn by anybody other than offensive line and defensive line. He says, good luck trying to block the right people now.
Whoa.
Going to make for a lot of bad football.
He's not serious.
I don't know.
There's 4 exclamation points.
Sounds serious.
Okay, after the good luck trying to block the right people right now. You got to remember, this is a cerebral quarterback. Him, Aaron, there are others obviously throughout the NFL that either have done that in the past but are doing it currently. He's trying to see everything. Hey, this is happening over here. Don't be a stooge. This is going on over here. Identifying this here. He's saying, what do we do? Is this not football anymore? Listen, I want to let you know if Tom Brady says something, I'm on his side. Look at this. These are his fucking glasses.
Boom.
Okay, these are his fucking glasses from a guy.
Those look a little small on your head, man.
Are you kidding me?
You're an asshole.
The worst.
Do they reach your ears? Hey, I'm a fellow big-headed guy. Believe me, it's a hard finding shades.
Yeah, that's why I always do this one, just so it looks like I'm trying for you know what I mean? I'm trying for it, not to. But anyways, great. Okay, the Hokas.
Oh,
great.
Come on.
The Super Bowl trophy tosses, incredible. Listen, I'm on Tom's side. If Tom don't like it, I don't like it, AJ. I just want to let you know that right now.
I mean, I was thinking about it as you're talking. I think after the first probably 3 OTAs, he's going to be okay. Well, if he goes to OTAs or if they have them. But it may look a little weird to see the different numbers at first, but I feel like it's.
Are you saying Tom Brady's overreacting?
Whoa.
Why are you taking shots at Tom right now? Tom's not happy about this.
I'm not taking shots. No shots taken at Tom. Tom is doing what he does. You've said Tom is good at the internet. That's what he like.
You think he wants us to do exactly what we just did right now?
Yeah.
I love that even more.
I love it better.
Hey, good for me. We're having these glasses. If that's mine, that's awesome. Have you asked Aaron about the number changes on whether or not he would hate it or love it or anything like that?
No, I never even thought.
Me neither.
Of any of this, like that. Oh, this is going to be weird to identify who to block or who. Oh, is this guy a nickel? Is that the outside backer? I don't know. Maybe 120 pounds difference.
Well, the game's changing too. There's no more big fat stooges playing on defense anymore, okay, AJ? Those days are long gone. Now, you got to be quick. You got to be agile. You got Isaiah Simmons flying around out there. Where he's playing, who knows? He's got the number 4 on. Where's he playing at? You never know. I'm on. I never even thought this was a potential problem of this whole thing, but I'm also not the greatest quarterback of all time. And Aaron Rodgers, if he has a problem with it too, by the way, I'm going to hate this single-digit thing. If Aaron hates it and Tom hates it, I've never talked to Tom, obviously. But if Aaron hates it and Tom hates it, I hate it too. Just know that I don't like it. Just because
you know who hates it?
Who?
I don't want to cut you off, but you know who's going to hate it the worst is those old school like O-line coaches or people that break down film. Coaches that have been in the game 30 years are going to despise this.
Who is that? Number what? Is that a safety? No, he's actually outside linebacker. Outside fucking linebacker. It is going to be. Oh, I didn't even think about the old head that has been in football for so long. Whenever they had to learn how to use the Exos program with the remote, it was a nightmare. Introducing slow motion from the old school projection that they used to have, nightmare situation. Now they're just having that figured out. They got people, slotting things for them. They can't even figure it out. Now you're telling them that everything you've ever known about numbers is wrong, pal. It is. I didn't even think about the extra work for all those people. But, hey, it's going to be so swagged out.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be. Hey, there's going to be guys feeling themselves out there back in those single digits, Connor.
And if Tom hates it, Bill's going to love it. He's probably going to put every single player on the defensive side underneath the number 15.
Okay, so real quick. You've bought into the hype that those two definitely.
Oh, man. I think that every single day they were just butting heads, hating each other every day.
A spite Super Bowl is so awesome.
Hey, do you think they communicated, or do you think it was like the weird deal where they don't really speak?
Yeah, not at all.
Hey, Josh, will you fucking tell him?
Tell him to strap up his helmet right now.
Oh my God, that's gonna happen. By the way, man. To be honest, I don't know how they lasted that long together.
Yes.
I have no idea how it's. It's something that is very impressive, and we'll talk about it till the end of the NFL, which is hopefully never, because our business is pretty reliant upon it. And I think the NFL knows that too. But I think we'll talk about that forever with how great they were, right? I don't think anybody will ever be able to do what they did in this NFL era that we're currently in now with 17 games and the way salary caps are doing the thing. I think it's going to be very difficult to have a 20-year sustained successful run at that high level ever again, maybe in any sport ever again. And for Tom to play that long anomaly.
Yeah.
To play that long at a high level, anomaly. To be able to coexist with another super successful alpha there, where you are the two faces basically of the organization. That deserves to be given a lot more credit. There's a lot of places where it cannot last half as long, a quarter as long. And that's just the way it is whenever you got real humans involved and not actual Madden coaches and Madden players that are just a number.
Well, and like even just look at, 199. I feel like quarterbacks can go third, fourth round and, surprise a lot of people. Quarterbacks going in the sixth round, you don't see that often where they come out and just be absolute studs. Like punters, wide receivers, say what you want about that. They can, make something of themselves and be drafted late. But I feel like a quarterback of his, caliber,
stuff
that doesn't, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. AJ, do you think we'll hear more and more stories about those two back there in New England? I assume so. And to be honest, I don't know if I want to.
I do. I'm here. I'm here for it. I absolutely want to hear them.
That's because you like to watch the world burn.
But no, we will hear these stories, but you have to. I always am skeptical of them because I promise you we're not going to hear these stories from Tom or Bill anytime soon.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Pete Russ thing that was going on for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Team 3. Team Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some, I don't know, maybe some ex-players will come out, you think? You think any of them will have just stories that they didn't even think were a big deal because that's just how it was day to day, and maybe it'll shed some light on what's going on?
I don't think. I feel like that place is honestly, I think everybody kind of knows, like, hey, we did something here that was cool. Let's just go ahead and move on with it. Maybe, I mean, who knows? The evolution of content, maybe somebody will leak something and it'll get run with forever, like when it happened to Aaron Rodgers, because a couple people said some things and then all of a sudden that was the narrative for a decade and a half almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that could happen, I guess, but we hope that on this show, we're not ones pushing any bullshit narratives. We will do our due diligence, won't we?
Don't you think that, like, after 10 years or whatever it is, whoever retires first, whether it's Brady or Belichick, like, I can't imagine that either one of these guys wouldn't be at the other one's Hall of Fame induction.
Both of them will go. They'll shake hands. They'll do the whole thing. They'll probably have a sit-down interview. We should be trying to get.
Ooh, well,
it's going to take a few years. We got to get a Sports Emmy nom at least.
Yeah, true.
Shit. Imagine if they came on this show.
Hey, it's going to happen. It will happen.
Imagine if Bill and Tom
shake each other's hands.
Two guests. What happened? There had to be a day where we loved each other, right? What about wedding day? Do a full wedding crashers? I don't think it's like that, though. They've come out very positive for each other, but I think they both understand what had happened was, and it was inevitable. There's another quarterback story that's circulating right now. Andrew Luck was contacted allegedly by the Indianapolis Colts. Was it by Jimmy from the Colts? Probably. Was it by Chrissy from the Colts as well, Chris Ballard? Maybe. But reports are now out of Peter King via the Dan Patrick Show. Andrews Perloff tweets this out. The Colts talked to him before they made the Carson Wentz trade. Nothing has come out about what exactly was said, but he had to leave them with this impression that I'm not playing football. And if you listen to my conversation with T.Y. Hilton, when I asked him about Andrew Luck talking to him, I said, you think he's happy in retirement? T.Y. said, happy? Every time I talk to him, he almost makes me want to retire. So I think Andrew Luck very content post-football, had an incredible run with the Indianapolis Colts. We all wish it was longer because of how special he was on the field, but he made a decision that I feel like is making him the most happy. But I do like the fact that the Colts were like, can we not? I mean, should we not at least every time we have this situation go ask if this fucking guy who's a once-in-a-generation talent who's unbelievable maybe wants to play football again? Can we go do that? And they're like, yeah, we should. Yeah. Everybody shut your computers. Let's fucking drive to Andrew's house right now. He lives here in Indianapolis. Let's go ask him. And imagine, like, Andrew opening the door. I see him in, like, a robe or something, his family. He's got a lot of cool art pieces. I assume it is designed incredibly. He probably designed it himself. Andrew, just want to know if you want to come back. No, guys,
I'm good.
Thanks for coming by.
Don't worry.
You got some tea? You want some tea?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, and then they leave. I wonder how long this will continue to happen. But it's smart, obviously, and we probably, assume that they would reach out to Andrew. And now Peter King's saying they definitely did. Would be nice if Andrew was the quarterback of this team, though. I just, as a fan of the team.
Well, if I'm Chris Bauer, the GM, if I'm Jim Irsay, the owner, anybody, before you make this trade, you want to know, like, hey, maybe – what if Andrew had a 10% chance of coming back and he was kind of starting to think about it, and then you make this Carson Wentz trade and then bam, he's like, no, there's no chance. I'm definitely not coming back now. So, why not reach out, put the feelers out, and maybe he says, I don't know, I'm a little interested.
Imagine Jim just sending gifts over to the house. Like, brother, look outside. It's like a Rolls Royce is sitting out there. Andrew's like, I don't want that, Jim. Please take that back. I'll give it a go tomorrow, brother. Sends over another gift over there. And then finally, Andrew's like, hey, sir, please, I appreciate everything you've done. I am not doing this anymore. He was so good. If Carson can play, and I'm not saying he's going to live up to what Andrew Luck is and was whenever he was playing for the Colts, but when Carson walked into that studio, he was a big son of a bitch. I mean, I literally was like, man, this is Luck. Like, this is a Luck-like build here. You know, like, I'm not saying he's Luck at all, okay? Actually, I think might be polar opposite people. The only thing they might share in common is the same build, and they don't mind just being completely away from everybody. Like, they are okay living in their own world. So I think that is something they share, and obviously the physical traits and everything like that. But they seem to be two different humans. But his size, I was just like, damn, I did not expect you to be this big. Then you start looking at some highlights of Carson Wentz. It's like, oh, extending plays, big time throws, getting hit, making like it. There is a lot of similarities there. So I would assume, you know, that Andrew probably has a lot of respect for Carson Wentz, but Jimmy from the Colts and Chrissy from the Colts Ballard, and well, if you can't get Andrew, I guess with Frank's relationship with this guy, he's pretty fucking similar. Let's see if we can make it a play. I'm happy this move happened at this point. I wasn't always pumped about it. You know, when Matthew was available and Aaron was potentially available at the time. Listen, that was a real conversation. I was a prisoner in the moment. But, man, I feel good with Carson Wentz being in there until, you know, proven otherwise, which might happen.
You would know better than most, but does this, in your mind, like parallel what Trevor Lawrence said at all? Like, obviously Andrew Luck loved football and everything, but like it clearly it never defined him, because otherwise he'd be back.
AJ, we talked about that. I think whenever Trevor Lawrence came out and talked in that Sports Illustrated, the original quotes, which was like, don't need football, very happy without it. It's not chip on his shoulder. He's just driven for his passion of the game or whatever. And it was being taken as a very negative thing for the only reason, because if Justin Fields said this, or Mac Jones or Trey Lance or Zach Wilson, anybody other than Trevor Lawrence said this, there would be a massive ordeal. Their draft stock would fall. But Trevor Lawrence says this because this is who Trevor Lawrence is. Trevor Lawrence has been the number one recruit since 7th grade or something like that. Like, Trevor Lawrence has been on top of the mountain his entire career, just like Andrew Luck. So it was, you know, I think a lot of that got taken out of context, and Trevor Lawrence had to put out some tweets and respond to the negativity. It seems as if people are misreading my sentiment. I am internally motivated. I love football as much or more than anyone. It is a huge priority in my life. Obviously, I am driven to be the best I can be and to maximize my potential and to win. I have a lot of confidence in my work ethic. I love to grind and to chase my goals. You can ask anyone who's been in my life. That being said, I am secure in who I am and what I believe. I don't need football to make me feel worthy as a person. I purely love the game and everything that comes with it, the work, the team, the ups, the downs. I am a believer in the fact that there is a part of my life. I can't read that.
There is a plan for my life.
There's a plan for my life, and I'm called to being the best
I can be
at whatever I am doing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, LOL. This is kind of like, you know, whenever you drop that line, like, I am not purely a football player or whatever. It's like whenever you're all dressed up and somebody says, why are you all dressed up? You're like, I just came from a funeral. Fuck you. It just make them feel terrible. That's kind of what he just did in this thing. It's like, yeah, you remember you were mad at me that I just wouldn't say that I'm only a football player. I'm only a football player. I'm not. Okay, so you can just kind of eat shit, basically, and kind of. But I do understand that if you don't play the part and act as if you're obsessed with everything about it, some people are going to come after you at this point.
If I was Trevor Lawrence and he won't do this because he seems like a humble guy and he doesn't care to, he should say, hey, how do you think I got here? I wasn't like, this was been my mindset forever. Like, since from a young age when I have been the man, from then all the way till now, going to be the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. So, hey, have fun. This is who I am. I'm going to go be successful.
He came in his freshman year. Who was the quarterback that they benched?
Bryant. He transferred to Missouri.
He was good. Hey, good quarterback.
He was good.
Great quarterback. He comes in. I remember his first game coming in, and the announcers got like very excited. They had obviously done their research and everything like that. And I think one of his first balls was to the left or something. It was just like a strike, and he had that long hair. And I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And then all of a sudden, it was just like the Trevor Lawrence mania began. It wasn't as big as the Tebow mania.
No.
And I think that's because Trevor Lawrence didn't really want it to be. You know, he's not going to the draft. I feel like he was a little bit different. Tebow, I think, did not expect the Tebow mania that was going to come. And when it happened, I think he is like a case study for a lot of people. Like, hey, Tebow was on TV every minute of every day. for every single moment he was in college football because he was an incredible sound, but always said the right thing. His teams were great, and it was just like all Tebow all the time. I would assume Trevor Lawrence's people, Andrew Luck's people were the same way. Like, we cannot have that happen with our guys. Because Tebow got unwanted hate due to decisions being made by other people that he didn't even really know. And I assume Trevor kind of trying to stay in the backfield or in the background a little bit more was on purpose through this whole thing.
Well, and with Tebow, too, obviously Trevor was very successful at Clemson, but I don't think he ever won a Heisman, did he?
Nope.
He never won a Heisman. He didn't win it, or they did win a national championship. But Tebow, won back-to-back Heismans, went to 2 national championships.
So hold on. If Trevor Lawrence, though, was more media pushing,
giving speeches,
I assume he
probably.
You know what I mean? Because Dabo said after that one game, I forget when it was, he goes, listen, and Dabo with drip. And then he said, if the Heisman doesn't want to be associated with Trevor Lawrence or something like that, the Heisman's making a massive mistake. Basically is what he said. He was like, he basically gave a speech on the field that was like, this guy right here is about to be a 15-year NFL vet. If Heisman doesn't want to be associated with that, that's on Heisman's ass or whatever. You know what I mean? And that was when I think I realized, like, oh, he hasn't won I guess he hasn't been a part of this whole thing. Andrew Luck didn't either, by the way.
Right.
So, and I don't think Peyton did either.
No, I think he got second.
Woodson.
Yeah.
He got second. So it feels like
Tebow won 1. Tebow did not win 2. He won 1.
Hey, you fucking idiot.
I thought he went back-to-back.
There's only 1. Archie's the only guy that won 2.
Johnny Manziel almost did.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Johnny Manziel came through and almost won back-to-back. Remember he had the blunt sitting on the Heisman?
Yeah.
That's when he became my favorite player. I was watching, this guy is out of control. He was reckless, but
he was awesome to watch in college. Like when I'm assuming that's the last time you watched Texas A&M play was when Johnny was there.
No, I saw Kellen Mond beat Florida this past year.
Good for you.
That's right.
I was asked to talk about it on College Game Day, so I had to. And then, by the way, that segment got cut. I did not talk about it.
Sure.
Oh man,
got short.
What are you gonna do?
Going to need you to talk about South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Okay.
The sandwiches.
Here we go.
We're going to need you to talk about them for 45 seconds or so. Might get cut down to 15 seconds. Bring the energy, though. We need it.
They got a running back. I mean,
South Harmon
this
Institute
kid can turn the corner. He's no joke.
There's a couple people that got that reference, and if you did, you love that movie, just like me. I absolutely love that movie. Have you seen that movie, AJ?
is that accepted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know it.
I have seen it. I need to rewatch it. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I remember it's good. Who's the main kid?
Pete Long.
He's the kid from that computer thing.
Justin Long.
Pete Long. Good old Pete Long. He's good.
Hey, Pete Davidson. You know what I mean? That's who you can compare. They're similar. You know what I mean? Frank.
Wisecracker.
Pat, I don't know if any of the boys saw this. Did you? I was watching the Jake Paul deal, the fight. When Pete Davidson walked into Jake Paul's locker room, he starts talking to him. They muted like 10 seconds of them talking. I know there's a delay. What do you think they were talking about?
Well, I believe the internet told me that he came in and just asked him immediately about the allegation that happened a day before that.
Yeah.
I believe Pete Davidson goes, imagine, by the way, walking into Team Paul's locker room and just going, so you ever think, and Jake Paul going, right now, you're going to ask about that? I wonder how that whole thing goes. How's that going to play out, by the way? Is it still happening?
No clue. I think so.
I know nothing about it.
When he was interviewing Askren, he asked a few questions just completely dumping on Paul. He actually looked at the camera and said, see, what we're trying to tell you kids is that Jake Paul's a terrible fucking person.
Yeah, he did that the entire time, by the way. And I thought Jake Paul was running that thing.
So did I.
So I don't know how. I wonder how that whole thing. What's that, AJ?
Yeah, I think Jake has a lot of power over that. I doubt Pete's there the next time Jake fights.
Yeah.
Speaking of fight, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather have agreed to a fight on Showtime pay-per-view, which I believe Floyd Mayweather runs for them.
Pretty much.
That's like his pay-per-view.
I think Triller's involved, though, still.
No, it's at the same day. They're competing against a Triller fight.
Are they?
Yeah.
I saw Triller attached to like a tweet. Okay.
Yeah, the Triller attachment is that they're going against. So Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather will be boxing in an exhibition that'll be on Showtime pay-per-view and is planned for June 5th.
6th.
6th?
Apparently it's 6th now.
Yep.
Let's stick with June 5th.
June 6th. Have a little respect.
Yeah, for Christ's sake. Can't do it.
D-Day, dude.
Yeah, not on D-Day.
Not on D-Day.
Come on.
Mayweather can't weigh more than 160 pounds for this exhibition, and Logan Paul cannot weigh more than 190 pounds. This will go head-to-head against Teofimo Lopez, who's supposed to be an absolute knockout artist, and George Kambosos, undisputed lightweight title tilt on Triller, says Mike Coppinger. So they're competing against those two. I would assume they're going to figure out how not to go directly against each other so they can maximize the market for both of them. But maybe Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather will just say, nah, we're going to do this whenever we want to, because I assume that one's going to get a little bit more eyes.
And unfortunately, though, because it's on Showtime, it won't be the crazy spectacle, will it, that the Triller one was with Jake?
It's Floyd Mayweather's thing, man.
But you're telling me we're going to have like 9 performances and Snoop smoking weed throughout and AC Slater there?
Hey, maybe they learned from that. Maybe they learned that AC Slater has to stay.
Yes. He will be there.
AC Slater has to be there,
He's
obviously.
a boxer. He boxes. Let him in.
Well, he's also AC Slater.
Yeah, he wrestled in Iowa, dude.
What he did at Bayside is really what
need it.
I'm saying, and also in hotels.
Yeah.
What he has accomplished in every hotel room in the world is something that you need to put his ass on that fight. But whenever we're talking about Bieber doing a 4-star, how much do you think they paid him? $1 million for that?
You would think. I don't know. Maybe Bieber gave him a discount, but yeah, I loved it. I thought Bieber did good.
They didn't market that Bieber was going to be there. So I guess Bieber's team could be like, okay, they didn't use us to sell it. But immediately upon Bieber performing and starting his performance, I assume there was a lot of people that went over and bought that thing. Yeah. He probably got pay-per-view buys on the back end of that thing, I'd assume.
He's
Smart.
probably involved. Don't you think he's probably involved with Triller or some company involved? Like he was probably doing some sort of favor to somebody.
I feel like the Biebs is a good businessman at this point. I feel like him and Scooter, who is hated by a lot of people, are good business people. I assume he got paid. Mount Westmore, I assume they got paid in that whole thing. There was a lot of money that went out, but he generated allegedly $75 million. So there's a lot of money to go around. Ben Askren's got to be pumped to be a part of that. I can't wait to see what they do with boxing and continue to grow that thing. We have to get to a break. We'll answer some phone calls on the other side. There is some shit happening in the sports world. Florida sports gambling deal has gone through. It'll be run through a Hard Rock Digital, which is run by the Seminole tribe. There'll only be one other skin. Will it be FanDuel, DraftKings, Penn? Who will it be?
William Hill.
Will there have to be a Barstool Sportsbook on property to potentially get the skin? Will you have to get a FanDuel casino on property? How will that whole thing work? Somebody's going to make a lot of money off of this. We'll talk about that and more on the other side. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, live from the FanDuel Beach House down here in Tampa. I'll go shake hands for FanDuel if we have to. I'll go do what we got to do. We'll see you in 4 minutes. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Nailed it. I got a little bit of tea on my thing.
On your mouse pad?
By the way, the clutter is starting to build down here at the FanDuel Beach House. It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021 years after zero. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. AJ Hawk joins us as well. AJ, big news out of Philadelphia this morning, dude.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Well, I guess it was yesterday, but big news around the world this morning. Nick Sirianni, Paisano new head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, offensive coordinator under Frank Wright's tutelage, who was formerly in Philadelphia. Thought Nick Sirianni got hired to save Carson Wentz. They actually trade Carson Wentz out of there back to Indianapolis. Now it is a team that is maybe led by Jalen Hurts, but they're not coming out and saying that Jalen Hurts is the starter. Feels like the Eagles potentially a dumpster fire at this point, but I actually enjoyed the hell out of Nick Sirianni's quotes about what he does with potential draft prospects to try to learn more about them. This has obviously captivated the world upon hearing about it, but let's listen to Nick Sirianni explain what he does to try to learn whether or not they'd be a good fucking member of the Eagles.
You guys are wondering, I'll tell you, I think some of you guys are wondering, like, what game? We didn't go earth-shattering on these games, right? I played a couple of them at rock, paper, scissors, right? That was as easy as that. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's see how competitive you are. I'm competitive. I'm going to be talking trash to them. Did you talk trash back to me? Right? Jeopardy. There's different ways to do it. It looks a lot of different ways, but our coaches got so creative with this, like Jeff Stoutland, Brian Johnson, like they did just such, Aaron Moorhead, they all did a great job, right? Tracy Rocker, Jeremiah Washburn, they all did a great job of just figuring out how to compete, because everyone's compete looks a little different. Like if I get up there, I play them rock, paper, scissors, they got a little more creative than I did at times. So it was awesome though, because it did anything you compete at. When you compete with somebody that's competitive, they're going to go at you no matter what game you're playing.
I agree with that, by the way. I completely agree with that. I actually love the mindset. Now, I wouldn't have done rock, paper, scissors because I think that is potentially a game of chance, although there is strategy involved in that. I think I would have set up cornhole boards, though, for sure. And I don't think this is a bad idea at all. Like getting a chance to kind of see somebody's, competitive level, will he, you probably can get a chance to interview while doing it as well, learn about them. How will they respond to certain situations? I think this is brilliant, actually. And to be honest, after all the dumb shit we have heard, what would you do if you're the last human on Earth and all this stuff? I think this is actually a good idea. I assume they're not the only people doing this, but I actually enjoyed hearing this, and I would have beat his fucking ass in rock, paper, scissors if he would have done it with me.
Well, the rock, paper, scissors isn't even like, that's just what they're using to be able to check each other out and see if this guy would be a good fit. How does he come back at me? Like, that's what Sirianni's saying. Like, I want to see if he's talking trash. Like, is he a confident dude? What does it sound like? Is he like over the top? Or probably some guys I bet they had to bring out of their shell a little bit. He starts talking to him like, is this dude the head coach? All right. And then I would love to see a few guys like cross the line.
Fuck you! Yeah, like a whole, you know what I mean? Like
chest him up, like get in his chest and tell him he cheated or something.
Yeah, do like, because I would assume best of three is too quick. I mean, that's potentially, that's potentially very quick. And did I just throw 2 papers to potentially throw off anybody that I ever play against? Oh. Maybe. That's how, I've been in rock, paper, scissors tournaments before. I have done this a lot. I have one strategy, and once it gets found out, I am tough to lose to. But until you find out the strategy, I am a hammer going through there. I throw a rock every time. It is everybody knows this. Okay, I've lost money in rock. I've gotten all the way to the finals throwing rock every single time. And I've said, hey, I'm going to throw a rock. I'm going to throw a rock. It's just like whenever I play cards. I will tell people my hand early in the thing. I will tell them exactly my hand. I will show my hand early. Okay, I'm not lying. Hey, not lying to you. Okay, I'm not lying to you this whole night. So then, hour in, I start saying, I got it, And they're like, well, he did this earlier.
Shit.
He did this earlier. Is it real or not? It's like a whole head. So for rock, paper, scissors, I guess there is strategy if you're going to try to potentially fuck with somebody. Or I've also seen and potentially done like whenever you're throwing, like You know what I mean? Like you do all of them, and then you kind of like see what it is. There's a lot of little games you can play in that rock, paper, scissors, but I like telling the person what I'm going to do, because then there's always the, is he really? Is he not? There is some gamesmanship, I guess, in there. They would have to do a best of 5, I would assume, to extend it a little bit longer. But imagine if somebody is down 2-0 to Nick Sirianni, and they go on a 3-0 run to win that thing, and getting into his face, fuck you! I knew it! Like, that would be... Now, do you draft that guy?
We're not drafting that
Do you draft that guy? Or do you not draft him?
You pick him up.
I think so, too. Vinatieri told me one time, and it goes along with this, draft prospect. How are they going to be good or not? Vinatieri said, what I would do is I would sit down and I would play checkers or chess with somebody. And if they were about to win, or if I was about to beat them and they didn't try to flip the table to do something, I don't want them on my fucking team. That's what Vinatieri said. I want somebody that's going to flip a table instead of losing. Like that is the type of competitive person that I want. You look at the people that are the best of all time in this game, the one trait that they have at a very, very, very high level is a competitive drive. Talk to Aaron Rodgers about why he loves football or anything. He's talking about the ability to compete against. It's just Tom Brady loves competition. Peyton Manning loves competition. They just love whatever it is. They like winning. They like beating. I think it's a good idea. But if you do get to that moment where you are hoping to get to, which is a pretty emotional reaction, raw reaction, and somebody flexes on you as the head coach, this guy has not been in the. How do you draft that person immediately?
Fuck that guy. Get him out of my office.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do? I don't know what.
Sirianni's looking for that guy. He wants that guy. You don't want some meat guys like, okay, great game, coach, and shakes his hand and just moves on. Like, he doesn't want that guy.
Can't believe I didn't win. You threw paper. I didn't expect that.
No way.
Get that guy the fuck out of here. Yeah. Cornhole would be awesome, because cornhole is in basically every locker room now at this point. So they're going to have to learn how to play cornhole anyways. Mm-hmm. You can see how quickly they learn. You know what I mean? You could maybe do a little strategy. There's actual strategy in that whole thing. I like what Sirianni did. Now, his opening press conference was the worst thing I've ever heard said into a microphone, right? As a hello to a fan base.
Yeah.
But everybody in Indy is like, hey, this is a competitive guy. Mm-hmm. Like, boys rally around him like they like him or whatever. Press conference terrible, but What if he turns his ship around? This might be the most impressive thing to ever happen. That place is on fire right now.
Just to play devil's advocate, let's say, these guys go in there, and then after the less thinking, more athlete takeover, and then this thing, what if they go to their agents and they're like, hey, listen, I don't care. I don't want to play for that fucking doofus. I don't care what you got to do. All right, I'm not going to Philadelphia.
There is a story that after I had a couple workouts with teams, Patriots worked me out.
Really?
Yeah, but I think they were just working me out to see if Pat White could catch punts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Classic Belichick.
It wasn't. I was dealing with the ball boy on one side of the field, and then the actual coach was on the other side. So I don't think that was an actual workout. But after the Colts won, there was a couple of people that came there, and I did not enjoy the particular human that at that point I learned to love person. Okay, but at that time, I mean, Ray Richleski was a special teams coach, okay? He just got hired to be a special teams coach. He had come from college. He was at Maryland. For a long time, West Virginia and Maryland had a pretty good rivalry. Rich Rodriguez actually almost fought Ralph Fridge. Almost fought him at one point. Like, it used to be, because there's a border there, it used to be much bigger than I think it is now. And I don't know if it was ever made to be as big publicly as it was, but there was a little bit of a rivalry there. This guy showed up, he had a Maryland Terrapin belt on, showed up at our facility, had like a jacket on, the whole thing, walked in, told me immediately, like, I didn't want to be here. Bill Polian forced me to be here, and just kind of like walked past me. He was a Pittsburgh, like a Pennsylvania, I think he comes from like a cold town, like pretty tough guy too, like had an accent, like when he was talking, like, I don't want to be here basically. Just for it. I'm like, all right, well, I don't fucking want to be here either. What are we doing here? So we had a little bit of a workout, and by the end of it, we had gotten along better through the workout, and I had to do the whole, because there was a lot of questions about me coming out, because there was a potential minor in consumption and everything like that in Morgantown, West Virginia, and I wasn't necessarily the most consistent kicker of all time. Had a massive leg, huge upside, but there was a lot of questions about me, so I appreciated the workouts, and I was trying to be as nice as possible, but immediately afterwards, I said anywhere but there. Like, anywhere but there. Then I get drafted in one of the, obviously Bill Polian, and then the number thing. Then the next week I get the chance to sit down with Ray, and I was like, okay, we're kind of like people. But he did tell me he did not want me. He wanted Thomas Morstead, which, by the way, good call. He got drafted very much earlier than I did, though. You never would have got him or whatever. And he wanted Tim Masthay out of Kentucky. Tim and I battled in that training camp, and I knew Tim at that point. I loved Tim Masthay. He was a much better person than I was everywhere. But we kicked every single day, and I think my leg was built for it, and his leg wasn't necessarily built for it at the time, and that's the only reason why I think I got the job, to be honest. Then Tim goes to Green Bay, and then kind of everything moves on, and me and Ray's relationship grows from there. But I could see how somebody would be like, anywhere but there. But in the NFL, you're only getting a chance. If you get a chance,
right,
you're so thankful for it. So I don't know. Sirianni, going to Philadelphia, I think there's probably a lot of conversation pieces, but if your dream comes true, who the hell cares? Get me in the building. Get me in the building, AJ.
I think Sirianni's onto something. I think next year, like I just had a vision of the Patriots, their room, all those rooms, at the hotel, at the combine, they're always stacked next to each other. All of a sudden, there's going to be this ruckus coming from the Patriots because Bill Belichick's playing each guy in a Papa Shot. They got the dual Papa Shot and they're playing it. And Bill's talking trash. Well, like any athlete of any sport, if you find a Papa Shot machine, like they're going to be on it all night long. So I think that's where you may get to know the guys the best.
I try to stay away from the Papa Shot because I stink at it, and it does make me very angry because of everything you just said right there. It is the most frustrating thing of all time. I feel like I have a pretty good shot. I feel like I'm relatively athletic. I feel like I can figure most of those types of games out where you don't have to move your feet much. I can normally figure it out, good dexterity. Papa Shot, I just can't fucking get it. So I have to do the bank.
Yeah.
You got to shoot one-handed, though. You got to to do it quick, you got to shoot one-handed the whole time.
Yep, and for some reason, my hand just cannot get that little piece of shit ball to be able to stay within the cage to get in there. So I'm a double-handed bank. Because I'm athleting through that thing. That's all I'm doing. There are some people, though, that there's gifts of God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Chinese guy is just doing this thing.
Sinking 1,000 in a row.
Imagine him just walking through every NFL locker room, burying everybody. There would be so many fights. That Papa Shot thing gets very intense anytime I've ever seen two people who have a little bit of competition in them go at it there.
Yeah, did Sirianni completely redeem himself with this press conference now and this thing kind of going viral compared to his first one?
No.
I mean, it was definitely, in my eyes, better. There's a lot of people that were saying he was a stooge, though. There's people saying he was a potential stooge, because there's other teams doing like the Dr. Goldman standard.
Right.
And they're doing
Well,
all
if you only read the headline, I can understand how you'd be like, what? What's this guy's first year on the job playing rock, paper, scissors? But then if you actually listen to him explain it, I'm like, oh, okay, actually it does make some sense.
Yeah, by the way, that seems to happen with a lot of things.
I have a much different opinion now. I just read the headline this morning. I was like, oh, what do you know? Sirianni's a fucking stooge. But
Yeah.
now after hearing it.
Yeah,
it's
but
like-
you actually listen like, oh, there's a chance to actually have a little bit of a moment there that you can't find in a lot of different.
It's like it's going on now, with all the different podcasts and shows going on. What's the dude? First We Feast, Hot Ones. He brings in these big time celebrities and then they eat 10 different hot wings with this, the sauce goes up from 1 to 10 of how hot they get. And then you get these actors or whoever in like a different element and they're dying, they're puking, they're sweating, and it makes it a different show. That's kind of what Sirianni's trying to do.
See, everybody is trying to figure out different environments to do the same thing. Now, I feel like the Hot Ones is a little bit different than the rock, paper, scissors, or cornhole conversation, strictly because you are getting to see a little bit of the competition. Now, I guess you could be competitive with your taste buds, but there's some...
You want to make it to the end. You want to hit all 10 sauces.
I understand that, but I do believe... I understand what you're saying, though, because you got the cold as hell or the ice tub conversation that Kevin Hart does.
Yep.
I wanted to do one where it's me playing ping pong against people on the thing where you're trying to find good conversation while doing different, environments or being in different things. The rock, paper, scissors one seems like a smart one if you're trying to find competitive individuals. I like what they're doing. Let's go to Brady in the south side of Pittsburgh. What's going on, Brady?
Hey, Patty Mac in the Fuck Pack. How are we doing this Thursday?
Hey, not too shabby. Not a bad name there for the boys. I think you guys wouldn't mind that one, right?
Yeah.
The Fuck Pack?
It'd be false, but yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, the Fuck Pack. Actually, saving myself for marriage. What's going on, pal?
Hey, we haven't heard much on Stone's future fortunes, and I was looking at the NFC North. The Lions are plus 2,700 right now. That's pretty good value for a team that's destined to win.
To do what?
To win the NFC North. Is that him or us right there, Zito? Because last week the phone calls were unbelievable. That one was absolutely horseshit.
I'm going to say that's him.
He was down the
okay.
south side, which, by the way, head on a swivel or whatever. That he lives right in the middle of that. I know a lot about that guy already, just if he chooses to live in the south side of Pittsburgh. But shout out, respect, dude. That guy has seen more in 2 nights than most people will ever see down there. But the Lions to win the NFC North at plus 2,700, that feels... maybe should be a little bit bigger. Maybe plus 45, maybe plus 5,000.
10,000 maybe. I mean, they don't have a chance.
Go ahead, do it if you want to. I mean, if you bet on anyone other than the Packers to win the division, it's pretty much just a waste of money.
I mean, let's not get crazy though. Andy Dalton down there in Chicago,
they're
and Kirk and the healthy Vikings potentially.
come on.
But what we're saying is, Motor City Dan Campbell is going to be able to turn this thing around, but it's not going to be next year. Plus 2,700 sounds good. Hey, Diggs, are you back there? Your future fortunes here. Did the Lions ever peek into your mind potentially as a plus 2,700 moneymaker for people?
No, that team fucking stinks.
Okay.
That team fucking stinks.
That's right. All right. Now, is Jared Goff their quarterback? Is Jared Goff their quarterback forever?
Yes.
See, now they're saying that the Lions might actually get a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are,
Not
everybody's-
forever.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not saying forever, but don't you think they got to give him a shot?
What did you have, Connor? You're gonna
Well,
bury
I
him.
was going to say, Straigs has them trading out. So, I mean, they might not even take someone in the top 10 this year.
You know what I enjoy about this particular draft that we're learning more about GMs? Jason Light came out and said it. Listen, ain't nobody we could draft in the later rounds going to make this roster anyways. This is what Jason Light basically said. This roster is... We have an unbelievable roster. You guys saw it. We managed to keep everybody around here because we signed these contracts. They're just a bunch of fugazis, but everybody got paid somehow. Just want to let you know that ain't nobody in the later rounds going to make our team anyway. So I'm going all in. I love this from Jason Light. Now, there's going to be other teams that view this as disgusting because the later rounds is how you build your team. Normally go from special teams to backups to potential starters and stalwarts of your organization for a long time. That story's been told. Jason Light's like, you've seen the way we've operated here. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time, okay? We're not here for 5th round, 6th round, 7th round picks, 4th round picks. We don't have those on our team. Our team is first, second, third rounders, and that is all we have. I love that he's just being open about it. I assume more teams are going to start being like this as we see the 2 different models kind of go to work here as we're bringing in everybody and we're going to try to build this thing slow. It's going to be a very separated bunch, I think, in the NFL, AJ.
Well, I think it makes sense when you say that. We don't really look at rosters like that when you think of teams like, oh, this team has 12 picks and they have a bunch of them in like the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. A lot of people don't value those picks as much. I think I've heard Mike Lombardi say that does a 6th-round pick have like a 15% chance of making the team? I think I've heard him say that.
Now, I wish I would have been able to pull that number right out of my ass right there. I wish I would have been able to say, actually, it's 14.45% chance. I do not know, but I do know it's going to be a long road, especially if there's virtual off seasons. For those like not first rounders, not second rounders, even third rounders get a little bit of a leeway there. Whenever you're 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, you're not guaranteed reps in training camp. You're not guaranteed a lot of this stuff. So these OTAs are going to affect them a lot more than anybody else. And it's interesting that Jason Light says this because Bruce Arians talking about the virtual OTAs said, well, yeah, the vets don't give a fuck about this because they're not going to lose their job. All these young guys can't get any work. They're not going to take the vets. They love this shit. The vets love this shit. It's the young guys that don't like it. And now I think BA and Jason Light are on the same page. It's like, listen, young guys don't deserve what is happening to them, but we also should be making moves accordingly that, hey, there's a chance 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks aren't going to get as much reps. It's going to take a little bit longer for them to potentially develop. We might be able to find a diamond in the rough there, but we need to just move along with how we've been acting. And we got a salary cap guru over here that it does not matter how many first rounders we sign.
Why wouldn't teams who are all the teams who are super cap strapped do this? Like, as opposed to having to find a way to pay 7 guys that they're drafting. It's like, all right, well, fuck it. We'll just trade 5 of our picks. We'll move up. We'll get 2, more premier guys, and we'll find a way to work it with these 2 guys as opposed to everyone else.
AJ, you should have heard Connor, okay? Because they had a lot of salary cap. In the Colts, Chris Ballard was like, well, we're going to have to sign our own people. We got to keep that in mind with the salary cap you see. Connor goes, see, that's what we've been doing. We don't have to pay people we draft because they stink. So we have money. Like, that's basically what Connor, and that was an entire strategy you see.
Exactly, and it's working out for us. And it honestly, what the Buccaneers are doing, it would make sense. The Patriots do it too. We signed all these guys. We're ready to go now. You might as well try and trade up, forget about the later picks, and see what you can do.
This might change everything. It might legit, if the top teams... If the top teams are all acting in one particular because there's always, there's different ways to win. There's different ways to win. Player coach, strict coach, through the draft, free agency. There's always different ways to win. If the teams that continue to acquire mass amounts of talent are the ones that are winning, it's going to force everybody else's hand, isn't it, AJ?
Yeah, but there's only so many players to go around, so everybody can't have that same exact model.
Yeah, and that's probably what teams will say, actually.
Everyone, they would probably love, any GM or head coach would love to be in the situation the Bucs are in. Hey, we won the Super Bowl. We have all of our starters back. We feel good about our roster that way. Hey, like, what if they canceled the draft for the Tampa Bay Bucs and said, you guys got no picks this year? I think BA would find a way to be all right with it.
That's fine with us, baby. We don't give a damn. These draft picks ain't allowed to fucking work anyways because the old players are a bunch of lazy fucks. Want to do a bunch of virtual. That is exactly how BA would say that, by the way. That is like, yeah, these lazy old guys don't want to work. You lose their damn jobs. What a legend BA is. What a legend.
I'm glad he got, like, or he's getting, I guess, the attention he deserves now.
I'm glad he won as a Super Bowl as a head coach because he's accomplished basically everything else. You know what I mean? He's basically accomplished everything else. Now he wants to run up a little bit of number here, he says, with Tom Brady, who's probably wanting to do the same thing. Let's get to a phone call here. Let's go to Santos in Chicago. Santos, what's going on?
Hey, yo, what's going on, Pat?
I think it's us.
Shout out Chicago. Shout out Peter Drake, Good Morning Football. I know Kay is a Chicago Public Schools graduate.
I think it's us. Santos, sorry, pal. Hey, love you, Santos.
Love you, Santos. When the power went out, it must have taken the phone line down. Transformer must have taken a phone line down.
I do believe we've had a power outage. Zito, last night, asked Zito how he thinks this is going to go today because we got in a little bit later and we were locked out of the house and the property for a little bit, so we didn't really get a chance. Zito, what are the chances this works tomorrow? He goes 72%, and then he gave like a finger gun to something. I do believe we had a power outage that I am just now noticing, though, and he pointed at a bunch of lights that were just out. So it's amazing that we're on air, but something's got to happen with the phone. Something's fucked up with the phone.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
What do you think it is, Zito?
I honestly have no idea. Probably the power outage.
Did you have to reset everything up again, or were you able to leave it?
We left everything, basically.
Okay, good.
Now, we're going to have to probably take some stuff. No, I mean, with the security of this fucking place.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fortress.
Fort Knox.
It's like
no
a
one's
jail.
getting in here.
It was unbelievable. I mean, Connor was willing to throw his head through a window if need be. And we couldn't find the right window that would allow his head to go through it, to be honest. This thing might be bulletproof. I don't know who the hell built this house. I have no idea.
Why his head? Couldn't he throw a rock or maybe kick it?
Well, he could.
Nah,
He's got a weak ass
that
leg.
doesn't make any sense.
The head's much more effective.
Yeah,
His
got a big
arm,
dome,
his
nothing
leg,
inside it.
very, very weak.
Yeah.
His arm, his leg.
Understandable.
Plus, there's a great window pane in the front. I've been looking to bash my head through, AJ.
We've had to do this at another house, AJ, and Connor happened to be the guy that ran his head through a wall so that we could up our internet. And to be honest, thank you for that.
Hey, and it worked. That internet was fast as hell.
It did work, and we didn't get charged for it because I don't think they found out until probably 3-4 people went down the line. There was we had to bring in a contractor.
Yeah.
To build.
Oh yeah, when you broke the door down, right, to get to like the little tech room.
Yeah, to get the internet up, he ran his head through a goddamn door. And we had to. It broke the entire frame. We had to build. We had to pay somebody to come in and build the frame back so the door would shut. Jesus.
Sounds about right.
We didn't do that here though. We were close last night though. Hour 2 is wrapping up here in a beautiful fashion. Hour 3, we'll have some more phone calls. AJ Hawk will join us. Maybe we'll talk about Big Trick Energy tonight.
Oh, yes!
10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. True TV debuting after the Impractical Jokers, a magic prank hilarity show amongst 4 best friends who love magic. We got a chance to meet them yesterday. They were fantastic. We'll be back in about 6 minutes. We'll see you then. This is the Pat McAfee Show on SiriusXM.
Being said whenever you were potentially
just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it. Yeah. Okay. So let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No.
You can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change.
No, at the moment I was at. Okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
You can backtrack with it.
No,
it's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were. Oh, yeah. When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. The way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. Okay. I signed that contract. I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. That had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. The season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And, I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson, and I think without a doubt those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for him, and it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died. With your
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course, they're going to play this one up. They're gonna make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like you never thought like, oh, football isn't for me. Like there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore. I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. It's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity. And the community seems amazing. The fan base seems amazing. Like we said, it seems like the perfect fit.
A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed. We know. We don't like that kid.
I don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. Some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. Swag is a mentality. Yeah. Swag is a mindset. I tried to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced walking around with, You got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
this fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posers.
All right. Obviously, we had no idea what was going to happen on Thursday, April 15th, which was supposed to be the day of the announcement, by the way. Basically, everything went incredible. The only thing that did not is we did not know that the WWE was going to be firing people. 5 of the top 6 trends on Twitter were WWE related. It was me. You guys are the best! Bad Bunny, Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, and I think Peyton Royce was also trending, and so WWE was trending. So what we're saying is today was supposed to be a celebration, today was supposed to be a big day. Now it's almost like the entire wrestling community is like up in arms about everything. So we have to make the announcement within the next 30 hours, but I don't think tonight is the right time to do it with the way the world is. Now, will WWE agree to that? We'll find out. Michael Cole's calling me right now. Boy, it was uncomfortable there for a little bit.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the third hour. Shout out Zito getting the mic on here. We are live at the FanDuel Beach House down here in Tampa. Let's have a Thursday. The boys are here. Connor, Ty, Foxy, Zito behind the camera there. The boys back in Indianapolis. Can't help you enough. How you doing back there, Diggs, Gumpy, Nick? How's everybody doing back in Indianapolis? I heard you all just scurry to the microphones there. I appreciate that. How are things back there?
I was feet up on the desk doing a little research for Hammer Don later, but things are going great.
How much money? How much money are you guys giving away today for the Hammer Don rollover?
Today is up to $1,500.
Whoa. Hey, we should talk about that. That is something that should be talked about. So the FanDuel Hammer Don rollover is what, Diggs, and how can people maybe win $1,500 today, Thursday, April 22nd? Happy Earth Day.
So the FanDuel, #FanDuel to Hammer Down rollover is a competition, is a contest that was put together by pretty much your great mind. And I said, hey, that's a great idea, where you put together a 10-leg parlay. So you're going to put together 10 bets
now,
that
Diggs,
all win.
Diggs, before you go any further, what did I say? A 5-leg parlay or 6?
I think it started at 4, to be honest.
Yeah, it started at 4-leg parlay, then a 5-leg parlay, then a 6-leg parlay, then it went to 7, and then people continued to win, so we didn't get a big enough pot. $1,500 is up today. That's why it's #FanDuel Hammer Down rollover 1,500 is what you have to do to get in there. But I wanted that pot to get huge. People are hitting 10-leg parlays now, aren't they?
Yeah, we've had probably 5 or 6 winners of the 10-leg parlay. I think the biggest pot that we gave away was $2,250.
And what are the rules here now? And listen, that is insane. Just want to let everybody know that it's absolutely insane. You don't actually have to bet the 10-leg parlay. You just have to tweet the 10-leg parlay. And the odds have to be -130 or worse.
Yeah, minus 130 or worse. So you could have minus 115, minus 110. You can have any dogs in the plus numbers, but you cannot have minus 131, minus 150, anything like that. So you can't be taking huge favorites. Let's keep it fair. Let's keep it square so you can win the money.
Gumpy, you hate these people that win or love them?
No, I love everybody, Pat. You know that.
Okay. And by the way, if you hit, you have to resend your original tweet to @HammeredDown, right? Because we learned early that it was going to be tough to keep track of who wins and who doesn't win.
You resend it, and then I go through and make sure, and I look at the timestamps, and I make sure all your lines were correct, and they were all on minus 130 or worse. And we go through, we double check, and we make sure that it's a fair operation.
That boy, way to go, Cover Cowboy. Really finding the words to paint the picture there. We appreciate that. It has been awesome. There's been a lot of entries. Yeah. You could win $1,500 tonight. You don't have to bet any of the money. Don't have to be in a legalized state. You just go ahead and tweet out a 10-leg parlay minus 30 odds or worse. You could potentially win. Shout out to the Hammered Down Boys live, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, youtube.com/Hammered Down. Great gambling advice. 51-27, and then is what Diggs is on baseball, and then Gumpy is like plus 50 units over 6,000 games bet over the last 2 months or something. So we appreciate you guys so much joining us again. AJ Hawk, how you doing, AJ?
Doing well. 10-leg parlays are hitting.
Yeah, that's listen. When I had this idea, this rollover for this thing, I wanted it to grow. Like I wanted it to be like FanDuel Hammered Down rollover 10,000.
Like Powerball.
Like I wanted it to be massive. And I knew early there might not be a lot of entries because nobody buys the Powerball until it's like 300, 400 million, even though 80 million would be fucking awesome, by the way. Nobody really gets into it's big. So I was like, okay, let's do a 5-leg parlay, let this thing build. And then first night, 5-leg hit. First night, 5-leg. We're giving away like $100 each night. I'm like, okay, we have to up the amount of money per day and we need to make it harder. So we go 7-leg parlay, $250 a day. Somebody hit the same night, just night after night. I was like, these motherfuckers, who are these? Why are these people not betting for us or with us or anything like that? So it's gone up to a 10-leg parlay, which is impossible to hit. And people are still somehow hitting it, AJ. We're going to have to change it and curtail it a little bit more, I think.
I guess. Is it 10? You can pick like from any sport, or is there anything specific you have to do?
Any sport that is listed on FanDuel's sportsbook odds or whatever. You don't have to be in a state where it's legal to find those. You can go get those, and you just have to hit 10. Can't do same games, I don't think. Nope. I don't think you're allowed to have same games bets in there. So that's the only other rule or whatever. I want that thing to get big, though. Yeah, huge. And it seems like people are too smart. Anyways, can we move on? Let's talk about something that is currently happening. AJ, you said that the man who founded these glasses, Tom Brady, alongside Christopher Kloos, who's a Danish designer, made the greatest sunglasses of all time. I mean, these things are unbelievable. He was originally upset about the single-digit number, said, good luck trying to call out blitzes, and you're going to see a lot of bad football and everything like that. And I said, if Tom Brady don't like it, I don't like it. That's why I said, and AJ was like, well, he's trolling, obviously. Stirring the pot or whatever. We have a follow-up from Tom Brady, pal. He is not happy. Tom Brady is not happy about this, and I think we should all take into account what that potentially means. He posted yet again on his Instagram story, dumb, across the top of it. Whoa. Then he circles something that basically says, approved relaxation. There we go. Approved relaxation of rules of the numbers that players in certain positions can wear because of expanded practice squads, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, everything. He circled like that. He points out the new rule, and then he goes on to say, why not let the linemen wear whatever they want to? Why have numbers? Shit. Just have color jerseys. Why not wear the same number? This is dumb. At NFL, at NFLPA, he is not happy. You've heard a lot of people pumped up about their swag potentially getting lifted through the roof. Tom Brady said, are we about swag or are we about the goddamn game? That's what Tom Brady, are we worried about the game or are we not worried about the game? I saw some people tweet me because I tweeted out the video of if Tom Brady ain't happy about it, I ain't happy about it. Like, listen, Tom Brady, I'm not happy about it either. I'd be interested to hear what Aaron Rodgers thinks. He probably does not care, by the way. It seems like that is not something Aaron would care about. But Tom, he does care about this. He is mad. I saw some people say, if college quarterbacks can figure out, why can't Tom? Well, what Tom alluded to was you're going to see a lot of bad football. Guess what college football is? Bad fucking football.
A lot of bad football.
There's a little bit of levels to this whole thing. AJ, I don't think he was trolling at all, by the way.
Well, you don't think so until you show up. We see, like, August 1st,
he's wearing
the Bucs take the field. Tom posts a picture of him wearing number 1
or
like
2.
Then it all comes full circle.
So you think he saw that we reacted to this? We covered this.
He's going single digit now, and he's probably going number 1. They're going to say, "Oh, Tom, why did you switch to number 1?" And he's just going to say, "Because I'm the best."
Because I'm number 1.
Damn right.
Hey, if you ain't first, guess what? Last. Yeah. All right, used to be Ricky Bobby's dad. Guess who it is now? Tom Brady. How many rings does he have?
7.
So he'd probably wear 8.
8. He's probably wearing 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
TB8.
Yeah.
And by the way, there is a rule coming out now that if you change your number, you have to buy the existing inventory in the NFL shop of your old uniforms. Now, this has happened before in other sports when players have changed numbers. I've heard this happen, and every single time it happens, Kevin Seifert of ESPN is reporting this. Every single time this happens, you always think to yourself, why do players have to do this? They're just buying something that inevitably probably is going to go up in value. So why wouldn't the league just sell them at a premium value as opposed to making the player buy out in the inventory? I guess it's because the NFL and these leagues go, oh, you want to be cute, change your number up? You ain't costing us money, all right? You're going to have to buy back every motherfucking one we had very cheaply built that we will charge for $300. You got to buy back every single one of those things. I guess it's to try to limit people from doing it, so there are some consequences. But this always felt stupid because those jerseys, if you have to buy a bunch and you're changing your number and it affects that means you're a successful player. That means you're a fan favorite. That means a lot of your jerseys sell. So your old jersey is still going to be worth a lot of money. It doesn't make sense that is something that happens to me. It seems short-sighted by the leagues, but what do I know really?
Well, if a star player changes their number, say 10 years into their career, everybody is making more money because of it. If you're a Tom Brady fan and you have a 12 jersey from the Patriots, the Bucks, now he switches number 8. Guess what? I need a number 8 Tom Brady jersey. So the NFL makes money, the pro shops make money, and Tom gets a little bit more. I don't know if he actually those jersey checks. Yeah, I don't know.
That jersey checks that he's getting and Drew Brees is getting are very large.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I will say, there for a time in Indianapolis, I think I had the number 2 selling jersey in Indianapolis. I actually made like the Dick's Sporting Good top 100 jersey sales for a couple weeks. I was in there, right? So shout out, by the way, to the Indianapolis Colts fans, people that followed me on Twitter and everything like that. I appreciate the hell out of that. It was a big honor. But my shit sold out all the time because they didn't have as many jerseys of mine that they obviously thought were going to sell. And by the way, I was promoting nobody to buy those. Every time somebody showed up to me with the one, I was like, that is way overpriced.
You shouldn't have done that.
Buy the jersey. Yeah. I always tell them, buy the jersey instead. It's a lot cheaper. We get it. It's a lot more fun. But I was always very honored when people bought the jersey because of how overpriced it was. But it was sold out. There's not a lot of inventory for a lot of these guys. There's only a few guys that have a lot of inventory where there's a lot of jerseys being sold national. And I would assume those guys, the reason why their jerseys are being sold nationally is because they're big fucking names. So wouldn't you want to keep their last jersey? This seems like a bad business decision.
This just made me think too. Do you know, do you guys, I've had people send me pictures of it all the time. Someone goes and buys a jersey from Kohl's, and the NFL is definitely okay with it. It has an NFL patch on it, but people have sent me an AJ Hawk jersey that's number 52 or whatever, or 50, and his name's not on the back. You're not seeing any money out of that, right?
No. And my mom was buying them. My mom was buying jerseys of mine from $25 jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
She was buying. I'm not seeing any of that either. And of the real jerseys, what are we seeing? 0.0002% or something of the sale for that thing?
Yeah, it's something pretty small, and I think when you buy authentic jerseys, they're $180 or maybe more now.
200, yeah.
More.
The real ones are 200 some or whatever. I got some pretty good checks for my jersey sales. It would come out of nowhere. It would be awesome. I get $10,000 or something like that.
Not bad.
I'm that's a lot of fucking money. And I'm like, if I'm getting...
Wait a minute.
How much did they just make off of my goddamn? Hold on. Let me think. Good for them, I guess. And then the NFLPA is like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll sell your entire name, image, and likeness to Fanatics. And you'll get 0.0001% of their T-shirt sales as well. It's a great deal. Thank you so much for that. Very nice of you. We need Treader to get on that, by the way.
Yes.
We need him to
use that brand.
Good luck.
Evolve the business of the NFLPA. They signed some deals for me that I was not. I actually did not join the NFLPA the last couple of years of my career because I didn't want them making license and merch deals for me because I understood the value of merch. Actually started a merch business so I could sponsor a car in the Indy 500. Saw the amount of money possibly made off the merch business. And when the NFLPA was like, just signing to Fanatics, yeah, go ahead and make Boomstick, Pat McAfee shirts, whatever. You want to give him 45 cents per shirt sale that you're selling for $25? Cool, that's absolutely cool. It's like, hey, fuck you. How about that? How about you don't do what you just did anymore? And maybe I have some aggressions against the NFLPA because of a lot of poor decisions, but I think Treader's going to turn that thing around, AJ.
He's definitely trying, but it seems like a pretty good business plan if you work for the NFL or you're an owner or GM of a team.
Yeah, I also love the fact that they're like, oh, they want to change their number? Well, what about all these goddamn jerseys that we're potentially not going to sell that we thought we were definitely going to sell, and we actually put an entire budget around actually selling every single one of these? I know businesses fail sometimes, but not this business. They got to buy them all. Then fuck them. We didn't make these for no reason. Make them buy. I love that they're just able to do that, by the way, and it doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, that's how this whole thing works around here.
Why don't they just do what they do with like the shirts that they print for like the Super Bowl teams that don't win? Like they just send them to some village and wherever, that needs them, and the NFL can gain a little goodwill that way.
See that? But they're not going to do that. What
No,
they
they
should do is they should hoard all those.
Yeah.
They should hoard all of them and just wait 20, 30 years. Somehow get them. Maybe the deal should be you have to sign all these ones.
There you go.
Guys would be so mad. Guys would be so mad. Hey, that signing gimmick is its own hustle in its own right there. That whole signing thing. I know guys that'll sit.
Which one?
Guys will sit down and sign like 2,000 things or whatever in one day. It's like, God, how do you know how much money that's valued at?
It's all well. You go in with a price per autograph you're doing. Yeah, it's awesome.
How do you have the will?
How do you
just sit there?
It's a long time. It's obviously a
private
tedious-
ones are the best. If you can sit there privately and sign 1,000 things, you can do that fast. But if you're going to sit there for 2.5, 3 hours and do like in person where they're coming through a line pre-COVID, that's a little different.
See, AJ, you're from Ohio State, so you guys were doing private paid signings, since you're like in high school or whatever?
True.
No, but as soon as you get done playing, you can.
I know. I heard these stories from Ohio State players that were like, literally, as soon as our last game was played, we're just getting offered $50,000 for signings because Ohio State fans are just so happy. I got offered $750 to appear at a wrestling event.
Ooh.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Did you go?
Yeah, I told him to keep the money too because I got a chance to wrestle War Pig.
Took out War Pig.
It was a great moment. Gave him a super kick right to the jaw, and that was back when the super kick mattered. Fucking knocked his ass out, dude. Knocked his ass out. The NFT game, we're getting into it. Have you heard this?
I didn't know you guys are getting in.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to get in, actually.
Yeah, how? What does that mean to get in? How?
See, I don't understand how Tom, Peyton, Gronk, Julian, I don't know how any of them are doing it. Now we might have figured it out on Cloud 40 last night. We might have got there on how we could potentially do this. But if you're selling highlights or whatever for these NFTs, doesn't the NFL ultimately own that in the end, and they're going to come back and get you? So I think the way they have to be negotiating deals with the NFL as well, some sort of percentage share. And I assume the Mannings and the Brady's and all those people, they could probably call right to business development and say, hey, we're going to do this. How do you want to go about doing this whole thing? But like for me or for us, if I wanted to make an NFT out of me kicking that onside kick to myself, which would be dope. I would like to have that on a portrait somewhere in my studio or whatever, and then as an NFT. I think the way we get around it is we got to go to the photographers that were potentially at that game that have their own photos that they own, and then we'll put a series of them into like kind of one NFT, and then we own the photo, own the thing, because I think ultimately there's going to be a lot of ownership shit that's potentially going to happen with these NFTs, especially with the amount of money. Who owns what rights? Who owns what? I think we cracked the code with that thing. It's local photographers we're going to have to dive
Well,
into.
and it was Suggs, too, who the college kid who hit that buzzer beater against UCLA. Like, how did he do it? Because the NCAA makes no sense.
Immediately upon declaring into the NBA draft, shout out to Suggs, by the way, being a great businessman and also going to be a great NBA player. But like that NFT going up, it's like genius. Love that. How the hell did he get the rights to that to sell that? I don't know.
Yeah, are we going to look at this down the road? And you know when they talk about like Jerry Seinfeld, didn't he mess up TV shows because he owned like the show or a big chunk of it, so he got paid tons and tons of money. So now they don't let actors own part of the show.
Letterman, Seinfeld, Ellen, Oprah.
Sure.
Dr. Phil, did he have anything?
Oprah brought him into the game.
Same umbrella.
But that's when syndication was the game. And there was people, if you owned the show, you made so much money, especially if it got to, I forget how many seasons, 10 seasons maybe or something like that. You make amount of money. Now, I don't know if as many people are owning stuff because I don't know if it's as available to own stuff. It's hard to crack in if you're not already in, at this point.
Well, maybe it's like when they talk about musicians like owning their masters. I know people always said Prince would tell people to do that. And Taylor Swift, she was going through a deal with Scooter Braun, right? You were talking about him earlier.
Yeah.
Did he buy her masters?
Yeah, I believe there's some sort of investment company also that was involved, and she's trying to get it back. And
I think
Scooter's
she did, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think she did.
Because I thought
She just
recently on
re-released
iTunes, she released like her cut of like an old album.
Oh, I thought she re-recorded them.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Because she couldn't get the deal done. Yeah,
right.
couldn't get the deal done because something happened where she was trying to get her masters back. And Prince has been talking about this, to your point. Prince has been talking about this for a long time. That's why he's the artist formerly known as Prince, and he was a symbol because everything he had done had been owned. And then if you watch that Straight Outta Compton, Dr. Dre actually was like, fuck it, you can keep everything that I created. I'm going to do this whole thing new. Jay-Z and Beyonce actually just bought all of DMX's masters and gave it to his family and basically said, here you go. You can profit off of this whole thing. That was like a gift, I believe, to the DMX family, which is cool. So there's a lot more ownership happening, but I think in the TV world, it is much more difficult to crack in there because it's almost like the real estate has already been purchased by everybody. You got to get in through them. The NFT game, though, that's going to become something where a lot of people are going to want to get their hands on them, I assume.
Pat.
Yeah, Bob.
I was thinking about that.
Nick.
Austin Matthews, American superstar for the Toronto Maple Leafs, actually is selling his own NFTs. And what he's done is he's just used an image of a jersey, but he's taken off all the team logo on it. So it's like his name, his nickname on the back, his number, and an autograph. And he's selling those as a way to get around the
And that's just a photo.
ownership.
That's just a photo shoot you want to?
No, it's not even a picture of him. It's just a picture of his jersey. There might be another one he has. Where
Ain't
he's gonna
nobody
use a
buying
picture
that,
of
right?
him, but they're going to be removing all the team logos all over it.
Is anybody going to buy that? Is that going to go for a lot of money, you think?
I'm sure some Canadians will.
Me?
You'd buy
Is it both
No.
photos and
Fucking
video?
love
I
the
thought it
Leafs,
was just
buddy.
like videos, almost GIFs.
I thought it was gifts too.
Yeah, it's like a GIF.
Of the jersey, is the jersey spinning?
There's like it's moving slowly into frame, and there's a background image that moves around, and
waving.
They just made it all
Somebody
cute.
make one
you
of
know?
this.
Do you think you're going to want to, like, would you, not to make money, but would you want NFTs to have, like, in your possession, like, it's artwork?
$2 million.
What's that, dude?
Would you want NFTs? If everyone said, like, I feel like doesn't want to be left out, so they want to get in the game somehow, but would you, who really wants to collect them? I think people are like, oh, I bought this for 10 grand, I sold it for 50. That's all people care about. Art, people want art to hang on the wall.
Just wait. Believe me, the next level of this thing is the framing of them and having them displayed in what you own and being able to sell it like it is art on the wall. I mean, I don't think NFTs are going anywhere. I think at the very beginning, I mean, we fucked around and bought a couple and we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, I got a Zion one that's dope, like absolutely.
How do you buy them? How do you even buy them?
Oh, Billy Tubes does it. I just give Billy Tubes the money, and then Billy Tubes buys them or whatever. And I assume Billy Tubes is taking a percentage of whatever I end up selling to.
Probably.
He probably negotiated some back-end deal with some code that he is going to make money off it or whatever. But I think we all thought it was a joke, just like the AMC, GameStop, Doge, Bitcoin thing.
Right.
But all this shit is not a joke, by the way. All this shit is still happening and still going, and I think it's only going to grow. And the NFT one, I think, is going to survive because the card stock, although it will be vital to, I assume, the community, the sports card community for a long time, these things, if you own one of 4 potential gifts that could air somewhere, I mean, it seems like it's going to keep going.
Well, that's why it is interesting with like Brady and stuff like that, because don't you think with the success of NBA Top Shot that the NFL is going to get into it?
This dude's nickname is Poppy, Nick. Austin Matthews' nickname is Poppy.
He's got a couple. Some people call him Pablo because he got a nice little mustache. He's from
Austin.
Arizona.
Huh. I thought this was potentially fucking Big Poppy.
Ortiz, also 34.
That's what I'm saying. I thought that's what this. So maybe Austin will be able to sneak in with maybe some Red Sox fans as well.
Or David Ortiz is going to be coming for his head. Hey, give me all of your benefits off of this goddamn NFT.
The auction will be open through 8. A portion of all proceeds will be donated. Okay, so he's getting into the game. Portion of proceeds donating for the fight against cystic fibrosis. Shout out for that. But yeah, I think we cracked the code on how the fuck we do them without getting sued, I think, long term.
Yeah, I still don't completely get it. But yeah, I understand it's not going anywhere. I just don't really. It's like Bitcoin. I don't really understand it.
There's a good doc on Amazon I think you should watch.
It's wild.
I think I've seen multiples, and I get more confused actually the more I watch.
Well, you're a rube.
Explain it to me. Explain blockchain to me then. Tell me, guys.
Blockchain? Well, the blockchain is actually the transactions stacking upon each other in a network that is far, far away, actually held in servers that is being locked underneath mountains, almost as if it's an Area 51 type thing that has, cooling and powering and everything like that to keep it absolutely secure. It's an independent form of money that will probably be used on Mars and Moon whenever we go there. It is not regulated by any government, so it does not go up or down, although it does seem to do a lot of that.
There's a finite amount, though. There's only a certain amount.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's from the original papers. But there are people mining them right now, happening all around the world to create more and to find more.
Explain the mining process. Explain that to me then.
Well, you got to find them deep in there, but it takes a lot of energy. Actually, there's people right now in the world using flare gas from other, mining situations, capturing all that gas to power computers and algorithms and everything like that to find and mine more Bitcoin that can be sold to people and used as currency. And there will be a time where obviously you have Bitcoins that'll be broken down into the penny, nickel, dime, dollar, which is the dream. And the full-time dream is that everything will just be able to be Bitcoin purchased so that I can just look at you and go, bang, there you go. There's a tenth of a Bitcoin for whatever the hell you just gave me.
Thank you.
So I think I just explained it. You're welcome. And the blockchain is all those transactions stacking upon each other as if it's a fingerprint independently.
Thank you. You definitely watched the documentary.
Yeah, and I just Tom Pelissero that thing too. Let's get to a break.
The Bitcoin link.
Hey, that was a pretty good little Neuralink. Oh no, my computer's dying. Oh no.
Yep.
We got to get to a break.
Shocked you didn't plug it in.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, AJ.
You shut up.
Hey, shocked you don't know what Bitcoin is.
And your Bentley, like every nice thing you buy, like you forget to take care of it.
That's not true.
Take care of your dogs.
Love my dogs. The house. I take care of the house.
Okay.
And I take care of this computer too. I only had one incident, by the way, and I saved it. CPR.
Take care of those sunglasses.
Yeah.
Damn right. How about Christopher Kluse and Tom Brady, dude?
You know what? The charging port would probably work a little better if AJ wouldn't have dumped Mountain Dew all over it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Let's get to a break. Fuck AJ.
Yeah.
AJ, 4 minutes. Okay, change your attitude. All right, we got a lot going on. We're going to close out hour
Chugging
three.
Mountain Dew over there.
Yeah, well, you were trying to do that to my computer. Yeah, you were trying to get it to chug some Mountain Dew as well, maybe run faster. I don't know what the hell was going on. This is Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, April 22nd, Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Please remember, Big Trick Energy debuts tonight on True TV, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you in 4 minutes. Cheers. Because I thought more teammates of mine were going to want to indulge in that either before the game or after the game. And to get to London, you go through your own TSA here. The team has TSA that you have to check in. Here's my passport. The Colts already have it. They took it all from everybody. It's literally you get your bags checked and then you're through. Put them in a little thing. We're good to go. It's the team's TSA. Get on the bus, fly over there. I forgot all about them. Didn't utilize them at all because how things quickly changed.
Right.
After we lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, we're on the team bus. They go, hey, we're going through Heathrow Airport through the real-life TSA. And at that moment, I look around. I go, oh, no. I have some things in my bag right now that have vitamins in them. I have to get rid of them. And at that point, I'd whittled it down to like 15 of them. And I look at Vinatieri, and I'm like, buddy, not good. He's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I guess I'm just going to throw them away in here. Couldn't do that because right next to the trash can was an English police officer. So I couldn't just walk up and dump a bunch of edibles into the thing next to the guy. He's going to ask questions. We're going to the Heathrow Airport. Now I got to do what I got to do. We finally get there. Police escorts, a lot going on. So I just take down 13 edibles.
Yikes.
See you later. Vinatieri looks at me and goes, how you doing, bub? I was like, good now, but things are about to happen. He goes, I got you, little buddy. I'm like, thank you. So we go through the little check-in thing. And right before we get to the scan of the bags thing, it all hits me. I might as well have been on Cloud 45 over there in London. They check my bag, boom, boom, boom. I get selected. Something was in my bag. So now all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, did I leave a couple in there? Oh my God. Vinatieri starts walking ahead. He turns around. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, they got my bag, man. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I have no idea. So he comes and stands with me. He's like, I got you, bub. I was like, they might got me, for real. I might be staying the night in England. They go through my bag. Turns out, had a vibrating toothbrush. Thing was vibrating in my bag.
Yep.
They're like, oh, it must have been this. Or it must have been my big-ass toothpaste, because you can't fly with that. I was like, you got it, pal. I get all the way back to the plane. Lost my ticket somewhere. Somehow I don't have a ticket. So now I got to check into the gate people that I don't have a ticket. I'm like, I'm on this plane. I promise I am, but I don't have a ticket. They're like, what's your name? I'm like, Patrick McAfee. The McAfee? No, yeah, whatever you want to call me. I just need a ticket. So now I have to sit there and wait as somebody brings me a ticket from the front while my entire team walks by me, knowing that I'm on cloud 50, just having a good time. Grigson walks by, just upset, obviously. I wish he would have known that I was in a mood where he should have talked to me there. It was just a nightmare. The London trip for me from beginning to end was not good, and I think that happens for a lot of NFL players.
Hey, listen, tonight, you in the red, you in the blue. I hate you both, and fuck you too. Before I leave here, I'm knocking all you out. Cheers. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You too. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bang. And I'm out. Get me out.
It's the show recommended by 0 out of 5 old white guys. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. Can't thank you enough. We got kicked out of the computer sharing software here. Whole computer just crashed here. Things are going well, but potentially my fault. As soon as I plugged the power in, the whole thing shut down.
Interesting.
Come on. It's like the power cord reminded the computer, oh yeah, I'm dead. And then it died. We've just come back. Can't share computers. So we will be depending upon somebody in the Indianapolis office to either answer phone calls or play music. And we do appreciate that back there, boys. AJ Hawk still joining us, I believe. AJ. Hey, there's a quote this morning, AJ, that came out from Drew Brees. Drew Brees gave this, cool, open, transparent answer in an interview. Yeah. And obviously the people that don't like Drew Brees took this one way. I took it as like, it's kind of cool to actually learn about this stuff after, because we all questioned Drew Brees' football this past season. We all wondered, not just this past season, if his arm was going to be able to continue to go. There was a lot of fluttering. There was a lot of balls. Comes out, Drew Brees was dealing with like 45 injuries or whatever this season. Yep. Yeah. Addressing in the media at a charity golf tournament. Good guy, playing golf for charity. Could be doing that selfishly. He's not. Wednesday, Brees admitted that he had more going on than he let on during the year. Whoa. Leader. I'll be perfectly honest with you, he said. I only felt really good in one game. That was week 4 at Detroit. From the perspective I had, all the tools in my toolbox could make every throw. I had a lot of limitations throughout the season as to what I could and couldn't do, and I recognize that, and that's really hard for a competitor. It's really hard to know what you should be able to do, and yet you can't because of various injuries or things that are taking place with your body. Some of those things are just kind of freak things. You tear a plantar fascia, you get damage in your shoulder, you get broken ribs, right? A punctured lung. I had this abdominal thing that I was dealing with for pretty much most of the season. As a QB, everything you do is rotation. And when you can't rotate the way that you want, you all of a sudden begin to accommodate. Everything for you kind of narrows. I can't make that throw. I can't make that throw. I can't make that throw. So what's now in my toolbox? It's harder to play the game that way. It is. And yet you've got to find a way to still get it done. And I felt like we did that, but it was very difficult. Okay, so everything we were saying about Drew Brees this season where he did not look anything like himself, and this had to be his last year playing football. Turns out there was a reason reason behind it. He was battling through a lot of shit. We knew his ribs, the lung, the shoulder. That makes it hard to throw a football around. But there's people that don't like Drew Brees that heard this and said, of course, this is what Drew Brees is going to say.
Yeah, what I would like to know. What are the questions? Like, what are people saying? What do you have to criticize here? He's basically telling us how big of a warrior he is.
Okay, so let's go to one particular person that represents a non-Drew Brees fan at this point. Okay. Ty Schmidt, your exact reason for hating this quote, even though it feels like it's probably mostly truthful and evident upon watching the film?
Well, once again, Drew Brees just relishes the opportunity to make whatever situation he can about himself one last time. What do you want, dude? Oh, Drew, you're so tough. You're so tough, dude. Congrats. You know what? I'd even maybe say, I don't know, it's a little selfish of him to go out there every week and not give his team the best opportunity to win. You got a guy behind you who's working harder than any other quarterback in the history of the league.
Including Dak Prescott.
And, you're saying right here, hey, there's a lot of things I couldn't do. There's a lot of stuff I didn't have in my toolbox. It's like, all right, well, what are you doing playing then?
Okay, Ty. Ty is a known hater, okay, and that's potentially because of an incident at Radio Row where Drew Brees gave us a great interview, and then immediately afterwards, Macho Man Randy Savage his elbow into the back of Ty's head while trying to say hello to Cuban Zeets. So kind of an interesting situation, a turning point in the way Ty views Drew Brees and everything. But that did he said, I can't make that throw, I can't make that throw, I can't make that throw. Did Sean Payton know this? Obviously Sean Payton knew this. And did Taysom know this, and Jameis and Thomas and Kamara and everybody on that team that was potentially, a little bit of turmoil there for a bit? Was that a real conversation that was being had behind closed doors? I assume that there was some turmoil because of this, AJ.
I would assume that the quarterbacks definitely knew. I'm sure everybody pretty much knew, but I doubt they addressed it with Drew. I doubt it was something he talked about all the time. Like, I can't make this, not going to do that. I'm sure in the game plan situations, that's when he and the coaches would talk about it. And I'm sure the positions too. I'm sure like the receivers at times, they're sitting in their meeting room talking about running certain, hey, why don't we run this route combination? And the coach is like, hey man, you know what we're dealing with right now. Like, our guy's not healthy.
Our guy can't make that throw. Well, Taysom can, Jameis can. Then you got to ask the question, would you rather have a 65% Drew Brees or 60% Drew Brees or 100% Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill? Feels like that was a question that had to be asked. Did that happen last year? Drew Brees, man who has almost every record. I mean, Tom's going to try to get all of them, but almost every record in passing. Hell of a career, Super Bowl champ, going to go on TV next year, do great. They went with Drew and said, hey, let's give this thing one last ride. Remember, Michael Thomas came out and said he knew this was going to be the last run, wanted to do it alongside Drew Brees. I assume there's a lot of respect for him down there, even though it isn't in the Schmidt household for him.
It's okay. Like you said, I used to be a huge Drew Brees fan, and then he was a huge prick to me, and embarrassed me. And I'm sure he's going to do great at NBC. I just hope he doesn't end up putting his foot in his mouth the first week on the job, because we know sometimes if he, is giving an interview, that tends to happen.
Well, it does feel like there are some quarterbacks that when they decide to talk, it's just like immediate buzz storm.
Yeah, AJ's best friend.
AJ's guy. Hey, what's Brett doing, man? What
the hell?
What is Brett doing?
What the hell?
You know him a lot better than I do, I assume. He's just like, fuck it. I'm going to go talk about everything. Everybody needs to know exactly what Brett Favre thinks about every fucking thing. Like, who's saying Brett Favre should be giving opinions on a lot of this shit? I guess he's getting asked, so that's why he's doing it. But goddamn, I don't know. Brett has to have somebody around him. It's like, hey, Brett. Nobody gives a fuck your thoughts about all of this shit. Just talk about football, dude. You're a football guy, Brett.
They're baiting you, Brett. Okay? Yeah. They want you to say shit like this. I mean, just wait. Like the Chilean prime minister is going to get assassinated or something. They're going to be like, oh, fuck, let's bring Brett Favre in. He'll have something to say about it.
Well, that's like Chappelle. Chappelle did a whole, let's get Ja Rule in
Yeah.
It's like real. It's like Brett Favre is the white Ja Rule with this guy. Like, what do we have Brett Favre speaking on this shit for? The guy's copper fit, Wranglers, football. All right? And there's some other things that are also linked to him that's not our style, but it's just like, why is he, I want to talk about everything. It's like, all right, Brett, come on, dude.
Well, he was asked, I think he was on some podcast. You say I know him much better than you. I mean, not really. I guess I played with him 13, 14 years ago, but he was a great teammate the whole time I was there. I had a great time with him, but I think it's like being hypocritical. Didn't he say last week something about players need to stay out of politics and we don't really need to hear about this? And then he comes out and he's asked about politics and he gives an answer.
Yeah, Brett. Hey, Brett.
Not great.
By your research, you're saying people like their sports and their politics very separated. And, whenever that thing gets, your research says that. So,
well, shoot, I'm not a player anymore.
Okay,
goddamn legend.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Just like that person asking the question only asked that question because of what he said a week before.
For sure.
And Brett has no idea that happened. It's like, come on, Brett. Let's get some phone calls. Can't answer them. I can't answer them because this thing is. I just had to sign back into the computer as a whole here. I don't know how that's going to go. Who's back at home sitting behind the phones right now?
Looks like they're
Nick over there.
There we go. They're running over there right now.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Oh, jeez.
He's there. So it's Nick now.
Shout out Frankie Boy. I don't know who's on the phone. Go ahead and if you could announce them and say hello to them, that would be fantastic as we wrap up this hour 3 here on Thursday, April 22nd. Nick?
He doesn't know how to answer.
I don't know how to answer the phone, Pat.
Okay, so use the little, there's like, you see right next to their name, there's a little square.
Mitt is so pumped.
Alec.
Right now.
We got Alec.
Nick, hold on, though.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Nick, hold on, though. Nick, let's talk through this thing here before you answer Alec here. You see down at the bottom now where it says they're live and it's kind of lit up?
Yeah.
Right down lower right corner of that lit up panel, there's an X. That's the get the fuck off the line thing there, okay?
Got it.
And then you also saw what you just did to get them on the line. If you hit that again, you'll lock them on the line. You won't be able to hang up on them, so make sure you're careful with the amount of times you're clicking on them to go on the air. Alec, how you doing, pal? What do you want to talk about?
I'm doing good, man. So my buddy Josh is actually getting hitched in September. We're going for his bachelor party this weekend. We're going to some casinos. We will for sure be bankrupting them.
Jesus. Nice.
He's a enormous Colts fan and would love a shout out from you, hopefully.
Pat would love to come. Where is it?
Okay. See, Nick, now this is that X thing. That's that X thing.
I hung up on him.
Thank you, Nick. Way to go.
You can stop by, man. At least stop by.
AJ, we're not in the same area. I know we're not. That's a shame. I actually saw some
You
tweets
fly
about
private, though. You can get anywhere. You fly private.
No, there's not airports everywhere.
No.
I could, I guess, technically, if we wanted to do that. You're 100% right. And, Josh, I apologize that I'm not that committed to going to your bachelor party. I saw some tweets about this. Good luck. Have a great weekend, pal. Enjoy the hell out of it. But remember, this is a celebration of love.
That's right.
Remember that. I hope all your friends remember that, too, because sometimes I can get a little bit distracted in the bachelor party there. Who's next, Nick?
Next, we have Steven from Indiana.
Steven, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Pat, what's going on, man?
Just hanging out. I'm watching Zito get disgusted every single time there's an echo on the other side. He just threw both of his hands straight up in the air whenever we asked you a question, how you doing, pal? Is there an echo on your side here, Steven?
No, there's not. I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, well, there's a little bit of echo on our side. I think it's because we got audio potentially intercepting each other on the way from Tampa back to Indy. This is what we exactly talked about before we came down here and last week. We'll figure it out by next week. Zito will probably have some sort of answer there. Steven, what do you want to talk about?
Well, first, shout out to you, Pat. AJ, shout out.
Shout
to
out.
the boys in Tampa, shout out. In Indy, shout out. I heard you talking about Carson Wentz earlier and how he could be like somewhat similar to Andrew Luck. Look, it does not matter how good Carson Wentz is if it's triple covered T.Y. Hilton and basically 4 dudes that he went to go find at the Home Depot before the game on Sunday.
All right, thank you, Steven. Yeah, that is a real thing for the Indianapolis Colts, especially after hearing what the Arizona Cardinals are all in for. AJ, have you heard this? So remember, just a couple weeks ago, Dirty Gertie made an unbelievable graphic. Shout out to Drawn to the Game, Mike Gertie, called Weapons of Mass Devastation. And basically, the AFC champion and the NFC champion, the amount of weapons they have on the offensive side of the ball is a perfect depiction of the ever-changing game that is football. You have to have weapons. You have to have a plethora of them. You have to have depth. There's a potential injury that's going to come. You can't fall off at all, especially if you have a quarterback that can make every single throw. The Arizona Cardinals are allegedly all in on adding weapons. They've done it in the offseason, obviously. They brought in Nuke last year. They're allegedly trading up to try to get another wide receiver. They're understanding that this is what you need. The Colts are not that way at all right now. Last year was very obvious. Hey, need another weapon, need to open this up. There's a lot of teams, though, that would, I think, are going to potentially watch a couple teams pass them by because of the importance right now on playmakers. I think that's just the type of NFL we're in right now. Nick Saban came out and said it. Belichick obviously even believes it. You have to have a plethora of playmakers, AJ.
Absolutely. I've said on here a million times, I feel like. I've listened to Urban Meyer in public speeches before, and he always mentions, like, hey, I'm nothing without great players. So first off, like, he gives credit to the recruiting staff and all the coaches, but he's like, if I don't bring great players here, we're not going to have a great team. And I think that's how it is at every single level. But what the Cardinals are doing, that's very interesting. I think it's, if you're Kyler, you love to see it. Like, they want to give him every opportunity to succeed. A big reason, obviously they want to win, but they drafted him. They brought him in. Like, their careers rely on Kyler being successful too.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's success as an NFL head coach will be talked about due to the success or lack of success from Kyler Murray at quarterback. Those two are tied at the hip, just like Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, and Mitchell Trubisky were. Yeah. Now, they survived, and I assume Cliff would also if Kyler went completely into the dirt. But I think a lot of people would say that was Mitchell Trubisky given the perfect opportunity to potentially be the best quarterback he could be. I think the answer is no there. I think that is something. Maybe it was the offense.
Where is he? Where is Mitch right
Buffalo, he changed his number, but he is in Buffalo right now. He changed his number. He kind of new era and everything like that. Behind Josh Allen, by the way, that seems like if Josh goes down, that's great for Buffalo to have a guy who's played reps before. Will he be worth a fuck? We don't know, though. Honestly, we don't know. No. Kyler Murray, though, getting a lot of weapons around him and his ability to make explosive plays, I'm pumped for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm pumped for the owner coming out and saying there's about to be a seismic shift in the game here with how the salary cap goes, is what the owner said. Just getting off his own plane that he flew to Wisconsin to a log cabin to pick up J.J. Watt, who he just paid $30 million to. I mean, the Cardinals are trying to play. They're trying to get in the game. I absolutely love that.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I don't know if you've been to Arizona, like Scottsdale, that area, but they're like, people want the Cardinals to win. Like, I know a lot of people from Ohio go out there for some reason. They live there as they get older, or a lot of Ohio people go to college out there. And I ask them if I'm like, are you a Cardinals fan? And they're like, you know what? Honestly, I wasn't, but then once I've been here for a little bit, if they have any kind of success, like, people get behind them and people love it. So I think they feel that. That's why they're bringing in all these weapons.
I think that's a celebration area. I think they like to have a good time. I think people that live there like to have a good time. I think people that like to have a good time normally are fans of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like a celebration. I think Arizona, every time I've been to Arizona, I've had a great time there. I mean, it's beautiful out there. It is absolutely. Foxy, you remember, we thought it was a fairy tale town that we had walked in.
It was so awesome. It was one of my favorite places we've ever been.
Yeah, we love Arizona out there.
Where'd you go? Where was this town?
Well, we were out there for what I'd call a bowl game, and then WWE as well. So we were bouncing around. We were in Scottsdale. We were in Phoenix. We were everywhere. I mean, we were bouncing around. It was very cool. The sand, though, it does change the tone of buildings and houses out there, though. Like the desert, the fact that it's a desert, it blows.
No yards.
When you don't have a yard, yeah.
Yeah, it changes, because we went golfing out there. It was the greenest grass I'd ever seen in my entire life, by the way. It was, and I think, is that because it's right next to a desert or whatever, but the golf courses are very nice. It seems like everybody's in. That's another hospitable city. I think they do a lot of hosting out there, Phoenix. So I enjoyed our time out there. It would be cool if I think, what do they call themselves? Red Gang?
The Red Sea?
Red Sea. Yeah, the Red Sea. It'd be cool if they got a chance to celebrate again because, the Steelers and James Harrison stole that last opportunity.
Well, and that would make sense, too, because you look at, like, the Diamondbacks and the Suns. Like, they were very good in, like, the early 2000s, but really haven't been worth a shit since. So the Cardinals kind of are, like, the premier team in that state now.
And you got a guy, Kyler Murray, who, if he can play up to his potential, he is fun to watch.
Yeah. And if they had a weapon, that offense is ridiculous.
Bro, ridiculous.
Wild.
Larry Fitz still there.
Yep.
Steady Eddie going to get you.
Is Larry officially coming back?
I think so, yeah.
Has it not been announced? Has it not been officially announced?
I thought he hasn't. I thought he hadn't made up his mind yet.
1 year, $10 million guaranteed deal. Just go ahead and
run it back.
Run it back. Let's go ahead and run it back. Larry Fitzgerald will be able to do that forever, I believe. And I assume he has enough self-awareness to know when he's no longer the same Fitz, which, by the way, I think he is a different player now than he was years ago. But his player is still a very important one to the team. I'd assume they view that. Nuke out there. Mm-hmm. Who else they bring in a wide receiver?
AJ Green.
AJ Green is out there. I mean, he's a stud. Now, he's been injured. He's also been in Cincinnati. So is it the potential... injury Cincinnati flu that he potentially had, where maybe something happened, and because there's no indoor practice facility, didn't have as much chance to rehab in the middle of fucking winter to potentially get back. There's a lot of things that are in there. Him out there, running back, who they
Edmonds, right?
Chase Edmonds.
Yeah.
I think he had big. They could be.
Christian Kirk was a high pick. He's a burner.
Yeah, and they got that Isabella.
Yep.
Isabella. So they got some depth there, which is what you need if you want to win, I think, in the NFL. That you have to have that, I think. In going back to Steven and Indiana's point, who kind of led this whole thing off, the Colts still have yet to bring in. It's absurd. What are you doing?
So who do they have playing receiver this year?
T.Y. Hilton, who would be very nice if you had somebody else who could take some attention away, because whenever he's moving, it is awesome.
Paris Campbell's there, right?
He's coming back. He's been hurt every single year, though. So I know Ohio State fans, probably massive fans. His highlights are electrifying, and his potential is very good. But I think a lot of Colts fans feel like if he can, it would be great. It would be fucking awesome if he was to play, because he has shown signs of greatness. He's gotten unlucky, by the way. That happens sometimes in injury game, too. A lot of people don't account for that, just being unlucky. Nyheim Hines is probably going to move, I hope, to slot, because he is – or maybe just keep him out of the back.
I like that dude. He is so good.
He is awesome. He is awesome. And I've been told he's a incredibly hard worker as well. Jonathan Taylor's very good, but they need another wide receiver. Like, he just need another one. Michael Pittman coming off a 55-yard season, 1 touchdown. He is potentially, going to really come into his own, but they need another weapon, AJ. They need another weapon.
They'll do something. I mean, maybe they feel good about the draft, about the receivers coming out.
Yes.
A lot of people do feel good about these wide receivers, by the way. They're like, hey, these
last
guys
couple years.
Which is
there's been some monsters come out the last couple of years.
Agreed.
Kind of interesting, though, because Schrag said this year in particular, after the first 4, it's like a noticeable drop-off between that next class of receivers.
Really?
Yeah, he said like the top 4 guys ending with Devonta Smith, I think.
Yeah, including Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, like after that, like there is a noticeable difference in how ready these guys are.
Kyle Pitts should say he's just a wide receiver, right?
Oh,
yeah. As soon as he gets there, I'm not
For
signing a contract.
Money reasons, a lot of reasons, yeah.
Yeah, he should be a wide, I think. And that's probably how can he block? Do we know? I assume.
Who cares? You don't need him to block. Bring in a big dude to block.
Yeah, but he can learn, too.
Yeah.
He can learn
as long as
block.
he's serviceable, as long as he's not a huge liability. Who cares? The guy is special when he runs, so just don't worry about blocking too much.
Travis Kelce said that in these last couple of years here, he has really, made it a thing. Like, hey, I'm gonna get better at blocking because it helps out everybody else. I assume Kyle Pitts will be able to make the same type of mindset. Now, Gronk, Kittle, there are some other graders out there at tight end that are also, massive blocking machines. Travis Kelce wanted to throw his name into the hat last year. You're right, though. I don't think that is something that they're really judging on a tight end anymore. I don't think.
Especially young. It doesn't. I don't think it matters. Of course, you want your tight end to be able to block. It's a huge bonus for your team. But what a guy like Kyle Pitts can do is special. There's very few people that are as athletic and as big as him, and what he can do to mess with a defense. So let him go flourish in the pass game first. Let him work his way into becoming a good blocker.
Just got a text message from Diggs. James Conner also just signed out.
Oh, that's right.
There it is.
James Conner just signed out. If he can find success, which, by the way, with that amount of weapons, you'd think would open up the run game, especially with Kyler RPO type situation. Maybe James Conner goes in there, has a big time year. He signed a 1-year deal. I love that the Cardinals are getting in the game. They're going to have to because the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Got Matty Stafford over there.
Yeah. Team 3.
Hey, and Team 3. Maybe a spite Super Bowl.
Look out.
San Francisco.
It's been quiet
pretty
on the front.
good this
Team
year,
3,
too.
right? Hasn't been very quiet.
Team 3 has not made any statements lately. Nah, they're doing a show.
They are?
A vaccination show. Yeah, he's doing a vaccine show, right?
Russell Sierra, John Legend, I think, is in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing a vaccine show, I think.
I think Philippe's doing it. Fauci.
I saw Marshawn Lynch sat down with Fauci. I've not gotten a chance to watch that, but I will.
What was he calling? Fauci, I think.
Fauci. Dude, he's the best. I think it's his birthday.
Yeah, it is.
Happy birthday, Marshawn Lynch. Thank you for everything. Hey, thank you. Happy birthday, Marshawn. Thank you for everything. Just thank you for everything, man. On the field, off the field, pre-pros, post-pros, in Buffalo, in everywhere you've ever been. Like, just... Marshawn, thank you, man. You're a gift, dude.
His Peyton's place is unbelievable. We talked about it last week.
Shot. Peyton shot Toradol, shot Gatorade. Hennessy, what are you? It is. He has always been Marshawn Lynch, and I think that's why I appreciate the hell out of him. Him chasing that lady up the stairs at his camp whenever she said that he was being mean or whatever, and him getting filmed and him going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Miss Lady. Hold on. I'm trying to coach her. Oh, man, I'm tired. Those are hard stuff. And that went viral. She was so mad at him because he was trying to coach him up or something like that. Him going to play at that high school when it was just Debo and people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love him and goddamn Bear Grylls. Do we have to say anymore? Him and the whitest person of all time out in the wild was very, very incredible. Nick, if you could hit some music back there, I would appreciate it immensely because I have to tell you that your lawn will thrive this spring when you get your own custom. Need another song. Can't have Marty. Can't have Marty's. Okay, thank you. Your lawn, man, he is so good though.
He is.
Songs are
your lawn should thrive this spring, and that's how the ability to do that is with your own custom lawn care plan from Sunday. Sunday is more than just a lawn care product. It is a custom lawn care plan with a variety of ways to help you grow a beautiful lawn, Ty.
Love that.
You can control your weeds, remove pests, and they take out all of the guesswork and unwanted chemicals so you can grow a beautiful lawn that's better for people, pets, and the planet. That's a big deal.
Hell yeah.
Sunday makes taking care of your lawn easier than ever. I just want to getsunday.com, getsunday.com, put in my home address, and their free lawn analysis tool took care of the rest all in just seconds. Sunday uses soil and climate data to create a tailored nutrient plan so you get all the stuff your lawn needs and nothing it doesn't. Sunday is made with ingredients that you can actually pronounce, like seaweed, iron, molasses, so you can grow better and feel better about it. Go to getsunday.com/PAT to get $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout. That's $20 off your custom plan at getsunday.com/Pat. They learned that mine was a floodplain, so they sent me a different thing. I'm going to have an incredible lawn. I can't wait for it. AJ, you should do the same. Do you have anything to say to the SiriusXM listeners that will be bouncing out here in about 20 seconds?
Well, I hope that everyone is with me and checks out Big Trick Energy, 10:30, True TV.
Amen. It debuts after Impractical Jokers. Chris Mad Dog Rizzo with Mad Dog Unleashed will be next. His show will be better than ours. Wait till you hear tomorrow's show. It's going to be massive. Yeah. Cheers. Out. Nailed it. So our clock is 2 seconds behind the actual clock, and then there's an echo whenever we talk. So trying to figure that out. Zito, great work back there, pal, with the countdown. He did it.
Thank you guys. Hey, oh, I would like to see that.
Yeah, it's happening back there. Going from the 4 to the 3 to the 2, is always interesting depending upon how people do it. Because you go 3, this is the most natural 3. Refs do a lot of this as the 3, it's the most natural 3. But 2, you can't do. That is tough. Yeah, so you got to bounce to the other side. You got to bounce up this. Oh, baseball is big. To that. Have you got to that? To that. Three's hot. So you go 3, 2, 1.
Well, didn't you? Hey, how you're doing 3 though? Didn't people jump on that and claim that was like a white supremacist thing?
Oh my God, that did happen. Is that still happening? I thought that one got wiped out. I don't
know how
is that real still?
I don't know.
I had no idea.
No, that did happen. That was a meme at least. I know there's a meme. I don't know if that was ever real though. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh no, people act like it was real. I don't know if anyone.
So you're telling me John Cena?
Yeah.
Well, is that some sort of military nomenclature? Did they do that in the Marines?
I have no idea.
Cena was...
Maybe.
I do remember that meme though. I didn't know if that was a real thing or not. Believe me, we talked all about Cleveland earlier with the whole Christopher Columbus. I mean, we had a big conversation about that earlier. Were you here for that?
No, I was not. How did you get into that?
No, don't you worry about it. It is a lock that the Cleveland baseball team will win against the New York Yankees today in the first 5. That is the Hammered Down Boys lock, I think, for today because, no, they're like the Angels, actually.
They do.
But they also like the Cleveland baseball team.
Yeah, Gumpy likes the Cleveland baseball team.
So
is that their name?
No, but that's how we got
Should
it.
be.
That was our entire conversation. We actually did 15 to 20 minutes on it.
I thought they already changed it though. Didn't they say they're going to change?
They changed.
They got rid of Chief Wahoo, the logo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then we went into the full,
Why Columbus
Chris
go
Columbus?
Yeah, we talked about Christopher Columbus. Was he potentially running away from a bad divorce?
Yeah.
Did he have a gambling debt? Why was this guy so cool with just going off the edge of fucking earth and nobody else was? And is that all bullshit? Maybe he was forced to go there and he ended up here as a big fat stooge, actually. And we just so have it. Like, we got into a full conversation because what's real and what isn't real at this point. What I do know is that they didn't land in India when they got here, which I do believe is how the Indians' name started. So I feel like, I've always heard that, and I didn't really know fully what Cleveland's baseball team was going to do moving forward. We thought that was potentially something that happened.
Yeah, I thought so too. I don't know. I guess I haven't paid enough attention.
But what
to
happens if you just, like, I assume this is something that people ask about, like, entirely wipe out any type of public social acknowledgement, though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they should get a lot more hype than they get actually in this entire thing. Native Americans.
Yeah, I know. For Cleveland, though, I believe it was like the Native American contingency in Cleveland that was unhappy about it, and that is like really pushing for him to change the name.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think we have to figure out a way to still honor somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's, as you learn more and more. I've been very lucky to come across a couple former teammates, coaches, and people that are, Native American, and getting a chance to like listen and, meet their family and like it's like, oh shit, this is wild, and then you kind of dive back into history and it's like people that look like I did fuck that one up pretty. Hey, it's really, I didn't do. I was not me, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, I don't like it at all. But that's where we talked about anyways. Cleveland over Yankees today. Yankees stink is what I've been told.
Hammer it.
Yeah.
AJ, you watch any of the baseball?
What's that?
You watch any of the baseball?
I can confidently say no. I have not really seen anything this year yet.
I have not seen one thing. Go ahead, Diggs.
I have some cleanup on the 3. This was the American 3 in World War II, and then there was the German 3, which was a different 3 as well. But FanDuel has put out a
that's European.
odds
I don't think that's just German. By the way, that's
Angels.
not just German, although that was in the movie where Brad Pitt's in
Bastards,
it. Yeah, where they counted different. I think it's all Europe. I'm not sure that's just Germany, but thank you for clearing that up. Attaboy, good.
FanDuel
Down there in that pub, down that basement, it got fucking sloppy down there just because of a poor count. Go ahead, Diggs.
FanDuel put out an odds boost on the Angels pick from -118 to +110 for an odds boost today.
Okay.
I think I have an odds boost coming, by the way.
Really?
I think so. It was talked about at least. Is it on the site? Oh, I fucking in Florida.
Yeah.
Is it up there or the boost?
I'll look.
It's Sidney Crosby.
Oh, nice.
Can you gamble on wrestling?
What
Sports
do you think?
entertainment?
Yeah, you're up. It's up.
It's up? Okay. Can you read that? Can you read the whatever we finally landed on there? Because I think it's to score 2 points and to win. It's like +300 or something like that.
Tasty.
Here it is, yeah.
Pat's Super Bowl, Sidney Crosby to record 2+ points and Pittsburgh to win versus New Jersey from +195 to +300.
Hey, Nick, please talk to the people. Sid's hot right now. Sid is very hot right now, right?
Absolutely. He
had to get
scored
a
the
mic.
game-winning goal in the last game against New Jersey. If you remember, where the New Jersey Devils looked like the Soviet Army. They looked like the Red Army of the 70s, circling around on the ice, just scoring 6 goals on the Penguins in the third period. But the Penguins held on, and Sydney scored the game winner.
What
7-6.
were you doing? Practicing your dangles over there in between music hits over there, Nick? What's going on, pal? You working on
Just hanging out. I needed something to lean on. I didn't want to sit in your seat, so I was just leaning on the stick over here.
Well, the seat stinks, by the way. I do a lot of the leaning anyways, but this feels like a great bet, right? At plus, now it was +1 something to begin with. So listen, you're getting a bang for your buck here to begin with, but boosting it to +300. This is a big deal, Nick, and very, very easily accomplishable for the greatest hockey player of all time, right?
Absolutely. 2 points should be no problem. There were 13 goals scored last time. I don't see why he's not going to have maybe 4 assists and a hat trick himself tonight.
There you go.
Oh,
Happy we can do it. You're welcome. Good bet.
free money.
Shout out to FanDuel for allowing that boost to happen. I'll just send a text, What about Sid? Can we do something with Sid? I want to push a little bit. Can we do something with Sid? Because the Pittsburgh Penguins did something the other night that hasn't been accomplished ever. Was it 5-1 in the third? Came back to win, Nick?
They were up 5-0 going into the third, and then, like I said, the Devils came on like the Soviet Union, the Red Army from the 70s. The Penguins held down the fort. Sydney scored the game winner, and they did end up winning 7-6.
7, yeah, we almost gave it away.
Jeez.
Up 5-0 in the third, almost give it away. Resilience, come back and win it.
Most dangerous lead in
That's
hockey.
it.
The greatest team of all time, 5-0.
Yeah.
Most dangerous lead in hockey. All
Did
sports.
they pull the goalie after he gave up 5 or 6 goals?
I would assume. There was a goaltender change. I'm not. I didn't know.
There was not.
Really?
And he's starting again tonight.
Should have been 10
The
points.
Jersey goalie took 5 right to the mouth.
Oh no, Jersey did change their goalie. I thought you meant the Penguins. Tristan Jarry was on the ice for that onslaught by New Jersey in the third period.
I was talking about Jersey. You were talking about the Penguins?
Yeah, I was thinking,
Jersey
hey, if the dude
did pull
gives
their
up
goalie.
3 or 4 goals. I've usually seen him get pulled.
Yeah, well, that Jersey goalie definitely got pulled. I mean, had to get pulled there. But how about the Jersey goalie bouncing back and making some critical stops as the Devils come back and do their thing? But ultimately, Pittsburgh Penguins' greatest team to ever skate. So that's going to happen. Sidney Crosby boost on FanDuel right now. We're live at the FanDuel Beach House down here in Tampa Bay. SmackDown is tomorrow night. On Fox, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm all prepared, ready to go. AJ, we were locked out of the premise last night because I forgot everything in the truck.
I mean, that's almost expected, I would think, of you making the trek down there. But what do you do now? What do you do tonight? Like, you guys, can you go out on the beach, go in the water? What happens?
Well, tonight, actually, because we're in COVID protocol, we actually just got to kind of stay on the property here. So we will potentially go look at the beach. We will potentially go look at the water. But it's not a fun house, okay? We're down here working. All right, we're doing our thing. It's not grab ass.
Yeah, this isn't vacation.
Last night we played euchre right here in the courtyard, actually. We have a courtyard of our house.
Crushed.
I'm impressed you know how to play euchre.
I'd beat the fuck out of you at euchre.
Shut up. Come on.
Whoa!
From Ohio, pal. That's what you do growing up in Ohio.
Listen, I understand
No, that's
Ohio,
what you do growing up in
Michigan,
Michigan.
Indiana. Listen, I've heard this my entire life. I'm a card player. Have been since I was like 10 years old with my grandma. I learned how to play euchre at events around Indiana whenever I first got here. Always a game going on the back porch. You show up, what's this game? Oh, it's euchre. What is it? Oh, it's like spades, but it's faster. It's like, okay, I think I can learn. And then, at the beginning, nobody really wants to team up with you. If you're not from the Midwest, to be your partner or whatever, you're like, oh, you're going to ruin it. Then you sit down. I play one game. I'm like, easiest game of all time. Okay, I don't think I've lost in the game of euchre ever. I honestly, I'm not sure I've ever played and lost a game. Connor just got introduced to it last night. He has never won ever a game of euchre in his entire life.
Not yet, but I'm like the Luka Doncic of this game. I'm going to come on strong today, and I assume today might be your first loss. I apologize.
It will be.
Now listen, Foxy from Michigan.
Yep.
He thought euchre was created in Michigan. My wife, Indiana, she thought euchre was created in Indiana. You from Ohio, that's what we do, pal. You think euchre is created in Ohio. Ty wanted to read about this game to try and learn it. There's 45 different sets of rules.
A lot of variations.
Because everybody claims ownership of that thing. It's a good game, though. It is a great game.
Yeah, very fun.
Great game.
So when you're going away game, are you like telling each other the rules and you guys got to figure that out? How's that work for
you? I'm not sure. I have no idea.
So if you played AJ, I don't know if AJ's rules are different, but like, what do you guys do there?
I assume Ohio's rules are a little bit different.
Probably less cards so you can hold them.
Yeah, probably easier to shuffle.
Yeah.
Easier to shuffle.
Hey, back when I was playing cards a lot more, I was pretty good at shuffling. You'd be surprised what these fingers can do.
No, you weren't.
That's impossible.
By the way, if you play a lot of cards, you have to learn how to be good at shuffle. So I figure you find a way to make it happen with your. Yeah. What do you do? Do you just grab the other end of the deck with like your inner palm, like you're a magician?
52 card pickup every time.
How do you do that thing? Because you can't close your hand.
Yes, I can. I can manipulate my fingers enough to hold the cards like any normal.
Are you one of those guys who just does like the top corners and then like kind of just jam them together? You know what I mean?
I think he does the tornado technique. He just puts all the cards on the table.
Oh, you do this.
That's smart.
The issue
You
with
got to be
that,
fast. If you're playing euchre and you're playing with people that have played euchre before, you better shuffle fast too, because you know how fast that game moves.
well, and you got to be good at shuffling because everybody has eyes on the shuffling at all times. But you a bridge guy, yeah, obviously.
Absolutely not. That's like what my grandma plays.
No, I'm talking about in the shuffle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been a while, man. I lost interest with, like all through high school, even in college. When we were playing. That's when poker was big, so we played that a lot in my college house. But then since then, I haven't played a whole lot. And I tried to play euchre years ago, and I don't know, it just didn't have the same feel. You got to have the right group to play.
I'll tell you, I'm probably a good person to have at the euchre table. I mean, there's a lot of energy, and I'm talking a lot of shit. And
I would never want to play against you. It would be the most annoying situation possible.
It's tough. It's not easy. It's not fun. But, you got to get it done.
Hey, my wife and I, we were down 9-2 yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean.
It's my first game.
Yeah, we 9-2. 9-2. The game's to 10 for those that don't know. 9-2, my wife and I, we're partners. My wife and I have never lost. We have played numerous times against her family, people from Indiana. We've done this whole thing. As partners, my wife and I have never lost. First time Connor's playing, they're up 9-2. Foxy. Oh, my God, Foxy.
Okay.
All we need's one more sitting back in the plane, the whole thing. We rattle off a 9-0 run, win that thing 11-9. Euchre on the final hand. They call it we win 2 points.
People were saying 28-3 game.
It was 28-3 happening right there. It was.
It was good.
That shouldn't be able to happen. With how euchre is, there's a lot of times if you're down, if they only need 1 point, eventually you're going to get it. Usually with how the cards come out.
Yeah, you would think. Legitimately, it was unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, but my partner is his first time playing.
Hey,
AJ.
Foxy, if this is 28-3, you're Matt Ryan. I'm Julio Jones.
You're
the one who fucked that
You're
up,
from
pal.
Boston.
You
all right?
Cut the
You
camera.
shouldn't even be playing.
Foxy, cut the
God damn
camera. If you're going to fight G's, at
Jesus.
least let the people get on camera.
Prick.
Oh, my God. You guys stink, though.
No. We're picking it up. That last game, I mean, we had the 6 points. Unfortunately, I did forget the rules multiple times, and you got 8 points on us there. But we'll figure it out.
One game was 10-2. That next one, I think, was 10-2.
That was a dog walking.
Those
That was not
Those will
close.
happen.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Hey, I get cards. It's very annoying. It's a lot of people would enjoy playing cards if they got the cards that I got as well. And I know it's an asshole thing, but I love playing cards because it feels like I've always gotten cards, and it's a cool thing. I've experienced nights where you don't get cards. Fucking hate the. I don't know how anybody plays that doesn't just get lucky with cards all the time. I don't know how it happens. I've been on a bit of a run here for like the last 23 years or so where I get good cards, and it's been a blast. But at some point it'll come, especially playing against Connor. It seems like he is going to get the worst fucking cards of all time all the time. So he's a fun person to play against too, AJ. We'll try to bring him over.
I also have to work on my shuffling because it took me about a half hour to shuffle the deck every time, and I could tell that was affecting the game a little bit.
Well, and we saw every card right when he was shuffling.
Oh, yeah. I'll hand him out face up. I don't fucking care. just get him to everybody's hands. Not to mention I didn't know, the jack, how the jack works exactly.
Yeah, you
messed
fucked
that up at
power,
the end.
Yeah, a couple times.
That's euchre, baby.
AJ, you ever play Tonk?
No, I've watched people play, but I've never done it.
Love Tonk. Absolutely love that game.
Really?
Oh, my God. I love it because I get good cards, and if it's 49.50 automatic win, below 13 automatic win before the hand even starts, it's double, I think. I used to get a 49 or a 50 probably 3 times a night, and it was like nobody else was. I just get very fucking lucky, so I enjoy the hell out of it. I have an absolute blast, but that's a good game. You ever play Boo-Ray?
No, it's another one I haven't. I know I've watched people play all these games.
Yeah, great game. I've thrown myself right in the middle of all these games as soon as I see them because I'm like, oh, I'll get the cards. What cards am I supposed to get? Somebody tell me. And they're like, well, in this particular game, you actually want to go low hand. There's a split pot. You want this whole thing. I'm like, all right, come on, low cards. Come on, bub. Come on. And they would just show up. I get lucky. It's when it all
Do
comes.
you guys not have cable? Do you not have cable in the house yet?
This house?
One TV.
One TV. That's
2 TVs now.
Oh, 2 TVs. But we played euchre for probably 4 hours last night.
So fun.
You mean that giant house there on the water only has 1 or 2 TVs in it?
No, there's a lot of TVs in it. You said cable. Only 1 or 2 boxes work.
Oh, are you guys trying to get that fixed?
Yeah, we're trying our best, to be honest, but it's
hook up an Apple TV to the TVs.
Well, the TV that I actually have in my room, you can't hook up to because it's from 1921.
Satellite on top of it.
Really?
So nice house, but whoever owns this place does not care about watching TV ever. It appears in the master. It is terrible. But Foxy's got I think Foxy's got.
It's like a 75-inch
spa. Flat.
Yeah.
He's got a spa in his entire thing.
It works too.
Yeah, Foxy got his whole thing.
Prick.
I brought an Apple TV down. I thought I was going to plug it in. Thought we outsmarted the whole thing, but you can't.
Mine came with one.
Surprised you haven't just bought a TV and put it in your room.
Son of a bitch.
What's that, AJ?
I'm surprised you haven't just bought a TV and hung it up in your room.
Yeah, we actually did. Yeah. Today, it's happening today, actually. Yeah. It's a good thing. A good thing you brought that up. Are we out of here? Is there any more phone calls over there, Hockey Nick?
Yeah, there's a couple. You want to take a few?
Who are they? Where are they from? Hold on, though. Let's see.
We got Patrick in Tampa, and Dylan in South Dakota, Bobby Johnny in West Virginia, and Matt in New York.
Okay, so let's run through those. Let's go to Patrick in Tampa. Did we miss anything?
You should invite him over, man.
Pat Tillman.
Oh
yeah.
Hey, Pat and the boys.
Patrick in Tampa. What's going on, Pat? What'd you say, AJ? What's going on? Just let's do phone calls.
Guys from Tampa, you should invite him over.
Okay, Patrick, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, man, so since in Tampa we figured it out, get an old quarterback that can run the team, full of weapons. Do you think we could get Aaron to finish off his career down here happily, just dropping dimes and collecting rings?
What if Tampa Bay is just like, Tom, you let us know when you're done, bub, and then when you are, we'll go pay an exorbitant amount of money for somebody else in similar position. We'll just keep this thing running back. We'll get Aaron next, and then after Aaron, we'll get Patrick Mahomes, and then after Patrick, we'll get whatever next.
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. That would be awesome if that's how Tampa just started to do things and continue to do stuff. But that is a very viable winning. Now, granted, Tampa will have to win one out of the next 2 years as well for people to really take this whole thing serious. But if they do, why wouldn't a lot of teams try to do the exact same thing? Why isn't Green Bay trying to do it?
I don't know. I don't fucking get it. We'll wait to see what happens on draft night. I'm sure I'm going to get smacked in the face again, but I'm very excited for it.
Can't wait for your punishment from the Green Bay Packers on draft night. Hey, Draft Spectacular is going to be big.
Yeah. Okay. When does it start? I think the draft starts at 8 p.m.
So we'll probably start 7:30, 7:45, probably.
Are you dressing up?
We went a half an hour early last year. I
So
think.
probably 7:30. We got to establish a dress code. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna be at the beach house, and we're gonna have this thing, kind of soups to nuts, everything in between, ready to go. A lot more. It's gonna be.
What is that?
What's that?
How does that apply here? The soups to nuts.
Well, it's everything from soups to nuts is
Yeah.
getting figured out. You know what I mean? Everything. It doesn't matter.
Soup at the beginning of the meal. You got nuts on your dessert at the end.
And everything in between is going to be figured out. Don't you worry about it. Okay, from door to door, wall to wall, from the window actually to the wall, and from the soups and the nuts, my boss. Everything is going to be done for the Draft Spectacular because it was a nice hello from us to a lot of people last year on the internet. We're very thankful, and all the potential irons in the fire or the lines in the water that we had sent out for potential guests all came back positive.
Yes! Come on!
Really?
Yes, all of them.
Massive.
Good to know. Like, what can you give any kinds of hints on what they are, who they are, what they do?
Big names.
Huge.
A few of them have never been on the show before.
Right.
All football, like, are they all players or ex-players or college players?
I don't know. No, it's a Draft Spectacular, though, so it's big.
Okay. Believe me, I trust you. I know it's going to be big.
We did. Actually, that's a lie. We don't have everybody. I reached out to Hall of Fame guy.
Oh.
David Baker.
Yeah, David Baker. Could you imagine we had fucking David Baker on here?
God.
We had the Hall of Fame on? Could you imagine? I did not make a formal reach out to him, but I should do that.
Not too late.
I should do that. But it's going to be big next Thursday night. 1 week from today, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. The Draft Spectacular. The annual celebration of dreams coming true and us being live on the air for far too long. Will continue next Thursday. AJ, big guest. I can't wait to see your handsome face there, pal.
It's going to be fun. If you bring you get David Baker and you got to get a fisheye lens, that dude is a giant to try to fit him in the screen.
Well, he is a giant. He makes a massive impact in the world of football, and we would be very thankful for David Baker to be on the show.
That's right.
It's a compliment I was giving him. He's not a big fat guy. He's just a big old jack.
Jeez! Oh. There's no chance.
He's massive,
What
though.
the hell?
He is massive. He is.
Yes.
He's a big body.
8'4", 750 pounds.
Carries it well. Looks like he could tackle somebody and is the walking, talking embodiment of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's a building.
We should invite him. And we'll get whatever lens needed if we do. If he comes on the show, we'll be pumped. But
what if he walked in here live in person like he does the Hall of Fame stuff?
We'd have to crawl in.
if I start crying? He walks in here, I turn around, like everybody points and I turn. Yeah, it's like, nah, where am I sitting? Oh, okay.
Get a throne for him?
There's no bust, sir.
That would be awesome.
If I started crying.
You got to make something up. He's like, wait, did you think? You're like, oh, no. A couple of my dogs just died.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
Let's go. Move on.
Sorry, I thought, you see a lot of men cry, don't you? I mean, not that big of a deal. That'd be cool. Anyways,
He starts crying with you.
That would be.
Did we do it? I don't know what we did, Dave says back. But we did. Yeah, we did it, man. He's like the nicest, most kind guy, I think, every time he talks.
Gentle giant.
He is. He absolutely is. I never really asked him, but the thought of my brainstorming sesh I had of who I should invite, he was in there. And I did not send an invite. So that's why that just
What do you ask? What do you ask that guy?
David Baker?
Yeah.
So many. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you just wake up every day and just put the Hall of Fame on your back and just say, let's fucking go? Like, what is a day-to-day for him? The only time we see him is hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Hall. But they talk about the amount of shit they're doing all year round. Chris Carter, I think, is working full-time almost for the Hall of Fame. He's got a lot of stuff popping off. I would be intrigued to just kind of listen to that guy's story. I don't know if Draft Spectacular is the right time to do it, but I would like to talk to that guy at some point.
How about just like, hey, what's it like being able to walk 150 miles in 8 steps?
I bet he has a lot of stress, man, like worrying about the people that don't get in. He probably always wants them to get in.
I agree. He probably hates the fact that there's a lot of people pretty pissed off about the Hall of Fame not letting him in, and he's potentially the face of that as well. It's a double-edged sword, good and the bad. You got to take it. Dave Baker does that. We were just talking earlier about the game Euchre, how when I came out to Indiana, everybody in Indiana told me that they created the game. Mm-hmm. When I played somebody from Michigan, they said they created the game. AJ just said we created the game. Canadians have told us that they created the game.
Oh, jeez.
So Canada said, Tim McAfee just comes in off the top ropes. He goes, Euchre was actually developed in Pennsylvania, which is where we're from. Which is where we think it's. We actually think it's from Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Dutch created it, then it spread as the Amish moved west. So you're welcome, Ohio.
Wow.
You're welcome, Indiana, Canada, and Michigan. And that is the reason. It's in my blood. I was birthed in the state that the euchre was birthed as well. There's a reason. As soon as I sat down at a euchre table, never playing the game before, I just fucking slaughtered everybody and have never lost before. It's because it's from Pennsylvania. I'm sorry I didn't know this game growing up. I should have. I missed out immensely on that, AJ. And if you'd like me to teach you a thing or two about euchre, I would love to come over to Ohio and run through the entire fucking state if I have to.
That'd be great. I can't argue with Tim. You know that. I know that he is cocked and locked at all times, ready to roll if anyone wants to challenge him. So I have the utmost respect for Tim. So if he wants to say it's in Pennsylvania, that can be Tim's truth. He can live with that.
I mean, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, blessed by the euchre gods. You just said it. You get the good cards every single goddamn time.
I actually say that during the game, by the way.
So you're saying, though, you're not a good player, though? You're just getting good cards.
Sure. Whatever you want to call. You want to call me a game manager? I don't care.
Yeah. What makes you a player?
What is it? The wins or is it the shred? What is? I don't care. Blackjack, same thing. Same exact. It is something that I've been it'll turn. I know it'll turn. So I try to take advantage of it as much as possible. Whenever, I forget, I think it was during that 27-month thing that was going on with the substance abuse program. And I'd played in some high-end games around Indianapolis that were pretty cool in like buildings and penthouses. I was invited to go play in some poker games, and I'd show up hilariously in a tank top, and there'd be like doctors and fucking lawyers in this game and everything. You know what I mean? I'm playing this game. My eyes are barely open. It's going until like 2, 3 a.m. or whatever. And I'm playing in these games as if I was like back in high school playing in these garages and things like that. But when I went for that 27 months where I couldn't do anything, I went and played at like a Knights of Columbus had a game, and like an American Legion had a game, and a couple other places around Indy had like weekly games. There was like 3-4 a week or whatever. And there's people that just do that for a living. They go play in these games that are legalized because it's charity and everything like that. I'd go in there and play, and the people would have no idea who I was, so it was awesome. They'd have no clue who I was. But I would just be winning like a massive amount of money. This one night, I think I ended up with, it was as it was closing down, I think I had like 90% of the money at the table, and they like shut down the game or whatever. And then somebody recognized who I was, and I look like a big asshole because I took their money and everything. You know what I mean? This whole thing. But it just always happens. I just get good cards. There's been a couple nights where it hasn't happened, but I am a terrible player, I'd assume. If I didn't have good cards, I don't think I would play. But I get really fucking lucky. Now, there's poker sharks out there that would run circles around me or whatever in actual poker, and I'm very okay with that. I've sat down at the table with some of the World Series of Poker people at like 2, 3 a.m. at casinos in either Jersey or Vegas as I'm stumbling out of a club, and I'm like, I play poker, and I just sit down or whatever, and that whole thing. But yeah, I get very lucky, AJ. This is my whole life, basically. I just get very, very lucky.
That's awesome. So you're playing when you go to these games, they're all Texas Hold'em always.
Yeah, I play Texas Hold'em, but also all those other games. I've gone to like Tonk games that were pretty big as well. You know, like I've gone to any type of card game I'm in. Any type of card game I'm in.
You should go to New York. Didn't Alex Rodriguez, wasn't he going to like these underground New York poker games?
And in LA, actually, there was one in LA I got invited to, and I was going to go. And the amount of money that I needed at the time for how old I was, I mean, that would have been a movie if I would have went into that game and did really well.
How much did you need to get in?
I think I would have had to take like $100,000 with me or something like that.
Like a bag of cash?
I think it was near that. Yeah, I think it was either 50 or 100. I forget what it was. And I was like, it wasn't A-Rod's though, by the way. There was these massive games though that were being publicized that were kind of coming out and people were getting arrested for. And I was like, I was actually invited to that particular game. I was actually invited to that particular game or whatever, you know, because
movie.
You play with one person and then they're like, hey, seems like you like the game. I'm like, yeah, if you ever hear of any other games, they're like, all right, I'll hit you up. And they like kind of invite you to games. And then I got tied into this one particular guy that was, you know, he was dialed in. He was like, you want to come out? I got a game next week. You want to out in L.A. or whatever? And I was like, oh, yeah, fucking awesome. That'd be really, it's like a movie. How much, what's buying or whatever? What are we coming to? And he was like, probably going to need about, 50, 60, maybe 70. I was like, I don't know if I'm that good. Are the cards going to be good or not? Are the cards going to be good or not? I don't know. But yeah, there was a time in my life I was doing a lot of that. I enjoy it, man. I love cards. Love it.
I mean, when you get the good ones, you should love it. Have you seen Molly's Game, the movie that Connor mentioned?
It sounds like you guys were just describing a potential situation. I was going to
be legitimately what you were.
She was running the game, right?
Yeah.
In the basement, there was a gun. The whole thing. The security guy.
All over the place. She was running games all over, but it's Jeremy Bloom's sister. It's a true story. Jeremy Bloom, the guy who played at Colorado
Eagles
and was an Olympic skier. It's his sister.
Yeah, like very high.
Oh yeah, I think I read this story. Probably better than a movie. No, I think I read the article, right? It just kind of like spun out of control for her almost, right?
Yeah. Got too big.
Yeah, like she didn't know what was going to happen. It kind of got going. There's some games out there that are sketch. I've walked into some, there is somebody with a gun sitting outside or whatever, and it's like, what's going on here? It's for your protection. I'm like, I know, yeah, but from who? Who is potentially pissed off? Ain't no problem, man. This is just smart or whatever. It's like, all right, I guess. Should I?
Until that guy just walks in.
Yeah, what if that guy gets Is that guy on my side too? Who's on what side here, But I enjoy those types of things now. But with casinos having more poker rooms and everything, it's much easier to get a game and find a game. But back in the day, it used to be very difficult to find an actual game if you wanted to because of the legalities of it all and everything.
Now all those underground games are just online, aren't they?
No, two different styles of poker there. So,
yeah, I guess.
I have a friend who is an online poker player. He was. I don't know if he still is. Frank, you back there live still? Is old buddy still a professional online poker player or not?
No, he's transitioned into the NFT game and things like that.
You can sit on the chair, man. You don't have to take a knee over there. Chair's not.
It's a long shift. That's all right.
Yeah, you're out there, man. We appreciate you. You're gonna get a breather in a second or whatever. But we had a kid from our high school that was a full-time professional online poker player, and he was making real money, making real money. But he had 4 screens. He had maybe 20 different tables up at all times. He was only playing pocket aces though.
Yeah.
So he was only playing whenever you have the nuts, you're only playing on the nuts, and it's just it's an actual business there. Then you're only you're folding, fold, play. Let's ride this one out, fold, play. And then because it was all offshore, his accounts all got frozen. His life changed immediately, immediately afterwards. And then they kind of opened it back up a little bit a couple years later. And I don't know if he got back in there, but if you're a professional online player, I think it's much different than being a live player. I think
because you can't read people. You can't.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
And the people that play professionally online, you're right, they may have 8 games going at once, and so it's very different. But didn't they? I know some of the poker pros that were promoting those sites. some of them got busted. Like they had programs that where they were able to see other cards, and is that why everything got shut down for a while?
I would assume that regulations were a reason why it got shut down. That's kind of like offshore betting for sports gambling. There's no regulations on that. So with the online poker, I'm not sure if the people that were the Negrenu's and the Helmuths and everybody that was promoting
Fossil
it.
man.
Yeah, exactly. Great glasses on that guy.
Yeah.
What was his actual name?
Greg Raymer.
Yeah, Raymer. There it is. That guy, yeah. Hey, Chris Moneymaker, OG of this whole thing. He's the reason that I think every working class human in America thought they were going to be the next poker champion. But I think that type of potential rumor that could happen because it wasn't regulated affected online poker and online gaming whenever it became regulated for the long haul. So I'm not 100% sure if what you're saying is true where they could see cards, but that was always something I thought whenever I got on there. I'm like, I'm not fucking, who's controlling? I'm not going to do it. And then my friend who was doing this, yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. I think, Nick, I could say he was a friend of mine, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He'd like that.
I think he's a friend of mine. But he was not, he was playing as if even if they do know my cards, I'm only playing one maybe out of 30 hands over here. So it's just, you're kind of hitting them from all sides there.
Got to have patience. You got to have a ton of patience.
8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. He was just sitting there.
If you sit down and play like a tournament in person, like you better have 6 to 10 hours if you want to win.
That's why it's so hard when you go to these casinos and blackjack's available, and then you got like you got the slots and you got roulette and you got craps and you got everything, and then there's the poker room, and it's like, man, I love that more than everything else here. But if I want to make any money in there, I'm gonna have to be there for at least 2 to 3 hours. At least 2 to 3 hours. You're gonna have to sit through a couple people that are gonna get up and leave. There's probably be at least one table shift somewhere in there. It's a real. Patience is a virtue, though, AJ. Maybe I should give myself a little bit more credit on the patience. Yeah. I'm playing checkers out there.
That's right.
I'm playing chess, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, but I'll never sit down in those poker rooms now that I think about it because of how long it takes.
That's what got me out of poker. Like, when I was like, no, I just don't. You have to have the time. Like, even playing in-person games, like at my college house with Mangold and my other roommate. Like, yeah, we had time, but now I just don't. I'm not willing to sit down until 2 a.m. and play.
See, I really love the camaraderie around the table. I enjoy those live games a lot. I have a blast. Now, granted, I'm winning normally as well, so that is always
like
fun.
You need to go to the casino more often. It sounds like.
Can't though, because especially now with COVID, but with the 6-hour time that you need, like the 3-hour time, I'm going to play in the World Series of Poker. I will play in a World Series of Poker at some point, so but that's a 5-6 day full day commitment where
you hope so. I mean, yeah, you hope you're not knocked out day one after you put a $10,000 buy-in.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you want to win that thing, it's like you're signing.
You're there a week.
I'm signing up there for a 14-hour, 15-hour day where you're folding a lot, which I am. I am an active player. That's why live games or cash games are a lot better for me because you can really make some moves. But the tournament style is completely different. Then that's like a completely different style.
You can't be aggressive either, right?
Well,
you got to chill.
There's 2 ways, though. I feel like a lot of the guys used to, like, they would go all in very early and take out a couple guys at their table, and then you have a massive chip stack, and it's like, okay, now I can just slow play everyone else and wait for the blinds to just eat them.
Yeah, because you can get blinded out if you don't make enough moves. But then if you make too many moves, you're going to get got and you're done for. It's like that. The World Series of Poker thing is very fascinating.
Getting that bracelet, too, would be pretty
awesome.
Sweet.
Man. I'd wear that thing every day. How you doing? Yeah, fucking world.
I'm sure you can get 1 or 2 from Rick out in Vegas.
You're right. We get an Emmy and a World Series of Poker bracelet.
Here we go.
God damn, we're winning everything now.
Might as well get an Oscar.
Not yet, please. But we do have the E. We will earn the GOT.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Grammy will be earned.
Yeah.
I've already sent out some requests where if anybody needs a whistler in the background of a potential Grammy-winning song, I would like to steal a Grammy alongside them, and I appreciate that. The theater one's going to be tough, though, I think. Isn't that what the Tony? Yeah, that one's going to be tough.
You break out the waggle waggle on somebody, on stage all of a sudden.
True.
Getting that award.
Maybe we write the story of A.J. Hawk as a play,
Ooh.
And it goes on.
That's not a bad idea.
That's what we do.
Maybe you just call your boy Hugh Jackman and have him put you in one of his plays that he does.
I shouldn't be in there. I can't sing.
Well, just have a speaking role that dances a little bit.
I don't know how they do it. They do like 3 shows a day for 45 weeks straight and just act as if that's normal for them to do. It is absurd what they do. And I wonder if they feel like people sell out whenever they go and just like make one movie for like 4 months and just chill for another 3 months and make all the money in the world, or they go and sing on like The Voice and they get a contract to be their own singer. Because The Voice is this never-ending supply of incredibly talented singers. I'm like, where the fuck are all these people coming from? Then you go to Broadway or whatever, and the fifth person in the play that doesn't even exist will come out onto the middle of the stage while running full sprints around and will just belt out something. You're like, dang, is that the best singer I've ever heard in my entire life? Why are you punishing yourself 3 times a night for 4 weeks? You could just go into the studio for a couple months, go on tour, then go home and make all the money in the world. I feel like they're very dedicated to like the craft.
Oh yeah, true thespians. But I also think that people who are on like Broadway and stuff like that, you're hoping that that's going to lead to you being in movies and stuff like that. Like I know some people do love that grind, but shit, if you can, make X amount more for 6 months of work filming a movie, there's no way you wouldn't rather do that.
Yeah, I would think so.
Is that why they never forget their lines either? Because they do the show so many times?
Yeah, I would assume.
If they forget their line, that's horrible.
That's their job, too.
Zito, this is a guy that can't read for an entire page.
If I'm doing it 3 times a day for 15 times a week, whatever, I'm never forgetting my lines.
Now, if it means anything, I have forgotten the number to call into the show before. And I say it every 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. For some reason, my brain will just be like, oh, it's 1-833, whatever it is. And I'll like, that's not is that the number? Then I'll start questioning, is that the number or not? I would assume the theater thespians, they have to deal with that sometimes where it's like they know it so much they maybe get bored with it at that point. And they have to sprint and fight and do. I don't know how the theater people do it. I have no idea how
I think also it's kind of like going to like a live concert where like, you go, you see the same band, they do the same set list, but there might be like a little bit difference. Like I'm sure they do that kind of stuff to, make it not so
Unless
monotonous.
the writers are like, this is how the show is performed. This is how you do it.
Don't change
Don't you even think about a little bit of an
The
ad.
one that gets me, though, outfit changes. Insane to me.
Yeah, it's like the Quick Change. Rest in peace, by the way. I think one of the Quick Change members passed away, whether it was the woman or the man. Great show. Great halftime show.
Was.
You watch plays? I assume you watch plays.
Yeah, I've been to not a bunch, but I'm not shocked, but there's just I say it all the time. Like there are so many talented people out there. It's like go to Nashville, go to any bar. You're like, okay, is this the greatest musician I've ever seen? And then you see 30 of those people throughout the night. And then if I go to a high school play or musical or something I've had to go to, I'm like, are these the most talented kids on the planet? Why are they not in movies right now? And I realize like in that whole world when it comes to that, I'm always blown away at how talented they are. I'm like, this person, how are they not the most famous person we know?
So then they're like then the entire narrative would be, oh, they pick and choose then on who gets to make it, who doesn't get to make it. There's probably a lot of people that are very jaded that they were not potentially picked to go and make it whenever they were rocking out all those places. And hey, that's business, I guess, baby. It's not fair. It's not fair out there. Got to sing your song your way. Make it your own. Hey, Songland needs to come back, by the way.
Oh yeah, that show you liked, huh?
Yeah. I wonder if they canceled it. I hope not.
You think it was real?
What?
Was it real? Yeah, the Jonas Brothers were on it. What are you?
Were they were one of the writers?
All right.
You don't know.
You don't watch the show clearly, so
Yes,
just shut up.
You know, a lot of people would think that we would not, be people that would enjoy live plays or something like that. We are, right? Because we appreciate talented people, right, AJ?
Right.
So Songland's the same exact fucking thing. I don't need your bullshit about I don't watch it, it's fake. I don't. You're watching talented
I'm
people.
saying, is the writing fake? Do they already have they already met with these musicians beforehand? The people that are writing the songs for them, do they already have like a plan before they show up?
Oh, stop trying to ruin everything.
How would that ruin it?
For me?
That's the whole show.
Because the whole point of the show is me watching these people's brains just operate live, and a little bit of and then yeah, and then it's like, oh, that's a fucking classic.
Grammy.
How did they make that right there? That's the whole show. So if you're saying there's preparation time and probably all that stuff that makes a lot of sense.
No, not Songland.
Songland wouldn't do that.
No.
They're too good.
Anyways. Yeah, Songland. Everybody knows Songland.
All right, that's the show, dude. Nobody knows this show, all right? Enough, and there's a reason for it. Draft Spectacular 1 week from the day. Big Trick Energy tonight on True TV. Big shout out to them. SmackDown tomorrow night on Fox.
Ty, good job as the bunny, Ty.
It was not Ty.
It was not me.
Idiot, dude.
Hey, I did laugh by myself thinking last night when that bunny suit came and someone's like, hey, somebody's got to wear this. And I was hoping that somebody proposed that to Tim McAfee. Like, hey, Tim, you want to wear this?
Okay, there's some news that has just been broken behind me here.
No.
As of April 4th, 2021, Songland has not been canceled or renewed for a third
So that's
season.
canceled.
Fuck.
This is a Rap Sheet and Friends situation.
They just told him to stop recording.
Yeah. Hey, it's not canceled, but we sure as shit aren't renewing this. So
It's a shame.
Contract ran out. That's all it is.
I really thought they were hitting their stride. Season 3 was going to be the best fucking one ever.
Damn it.
This is your fault, AJ, because your bullshit condescending remarks.
Maybe they can take it to another network. What network was it on?
NBC?
Yeah, well, call Fox up. You work for Fox now. Call them up.
I do. Well, no, I don't. I work for WWE, which I guess works for
Fox.
They kind of refer through to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What? What's this all about?
The hell is this?
What is this? This was brought to my attention. Somebody asked me, is your beef with Adam Cole ever? Never. Dude stinks.
Stinks.
Uh-huh.
And then AJ, who never tweets, goes, he's a very nice guy. What the fuck is that all about? A little treason, huh?
Not treason. I've told you I can't be fake and just slander a guy because you do.
He's a bad guy, terrible guy. He pushed a guy with colitis in our studio who I think you do like, Ty. He tried to break Ty's spinal cord in our studio while breaking our studio. He's a bad guy, AJ.
I had to get a colonoscopy because of it.
Do you ever think about that? Look what COVID has done since he did that, by the way.
Yeah.
First off, I know Ty's had like 38 feet of his intestines taken out. So, yeah, he should have a colonoscopy probably to make sure that everything is all right in there. But Adam Cole was always – he was great to me down there when I got to interact with him a few times. And so I'm not going to lie about the guy.
AJ, when you look in the mirror, at what age did you start to see Benedict Arnold?
Good question.
Answer the question.
It had to be, I guess, within the last couple of months.
I talk about my truth. I told you that. I heard Demi Lovato say it a lot. Like, hey, my truth is Adam Cole is a very good guy.
Listen, Diggs is loving that, huh? Diggs, you're loving that back. Adam Cole is a scumbag, AJ, and that will always be the case. Go ahead, Diggs.
Did Junior Rock kill Singland?
Singland?
Come on. That's the show.
Come on.
Thanks, Cowboy. All right, dude. I can already tell what type of shitty show Hammer Down's going to be. 20 minutes from now, Hammer Down goes live, youtube.com. All right. No, Songland. Okay, it's a good show.
In miniature rock and Songland.
All right.
Mini rock.
You guys are fucked up right now.
Young Pebble.
All right, easy over there.
Young Pebble.
This is a joke. This show stinks, dude. We're out of here. See you tomorrow. Show will be better than today, hopefully. Who knows if AJ will be around with his bullshit. And Diggs there for a minute. Singland?
Come on.
Singland? We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.